That's right. Put it on, son.
I'm gonna wait till we get McGrath.
Settle down. It's getting excited.
I'm gonna get a pillow.
All right. So welcome to Winners Take Y'all. This is 1 year, man. I know we kind of talked about it last week. I think it was done on the 28th was when it was filmed, videoed, recorded, and then we uploaded it on the 1st, and it was for public consumption. So
and today is May 1st.
May 1st. Happy 1 year anniversary. I don't know what do you get your lover for 1 year?
Paper.
Paper, is that what it is? There you
Is
go.
it paper?
Yeah, so we got paper cups.
Paper cups.
Yeah.
Full of Fireball.
We do have
That's
Fireball.
what you get.
The 1 year anniversary gets Fireball.
Fireball. So some scuttlebutt. Some boys have been talking about John's junk, and I've been wanting to talk about your junk, just to get
A lot of meat gazers out there in the Winners Take Y'all world.
Just to get right into it. So whenever I upload the show, it breaks up the GoPro footage into thumbnails on my computer, and then you drag them all together, send them over to Dropbox, send it to Vurbmoto, and they upload it. So Casey, you can probably speak to this. He gets all the little thumbnails, and every thumbnail, John is the squirmiest. He's spinning continuously all the time.
He looks like a time lapse for time, like you're just looking across.
He does. So I see all these
like
different photos of John
Beastie
karate
Boys
kicking,
video,
doing whatever,
just breaking down all these rap moves.
And I've been wanting to take pictures because all your junk's all squished up in weird little squishy little bags of meat, like it's always moved around.
bags of meat. Dude, all I know
It's
is
so
I
funny.
never knew how many meat gazers were in the moto world.
No, you can't help it. I'm not a meat gazer.
Yeah, you didn't say nothing.
But I was going to take a picture and send
All
it
these
because I
other
laugh
jokers
every
are
time I see
texting me.
it.
They're
Yeah,
calling
now
me
look at
Mike
him now.
Honcho. I know, I got a pillow. They're calling me Mike Honcho. That's Joe Strickland. He's like, hey, is Mike Honcho going to be on the interview? And then other people talking about a
I
camel
didn't even
toe.
get that. I'm like, who was Mike Honcho?
That's Will Ferrell in a God. What was the movie? He's like, I posed for. Oh, is it Talladega Nights? Where he's like, he's unconscious and he goes, "Hey man,
No,
I want
that's
you to
not-
know
Yeah, when
I posed for
John
Playgirl
C.
Mag."
Reilly says it to him.
Yeah, he goes, I
Okay.
went under the
Phil's
name of
friend.
Mike Honcho.
Mike Honcho.
So you probably
Phil's
didn't
friend.
know.
I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah,
Damn,
so that
hey,
was Cal Naughton
We
Jr.
started off this with a movie reference that I didn't get.
That's very,
Dude,
and that's
what
a good
the-
movie.
Holy
This is definitely a rare moment as Kevin Kevin makes more noise with a microphone than has ever been made.
So, you had a lot of camel toe admirers out there.
Well, just a couple, but it was an uncomfortable amount of meat gazing. I'm like,
Well, bro, if you do a lot of it, like I mean,
if girls sent me this, it'd be fine,
You'd be
but it's
pumped on it.
dudes.
They'd be like, you got a really hot moose knuckle.
Hey man, your camel toe, your moose knuckle, your meat stick, your bag of beef or whatever you said a minute ago.
bag of sandwich meat,
Your bean
some
bag.
old
had a-
Carl Budden
Hey,
sandwich.
that thing's dividing you bean bag again.
You had a bag of sandwich meat stuffed down your pants.
Yeah,
Gross.
why are you? So anyway, now we know about the number of meat gazers out there in the internet.
That's right.
And now John's self-conscious.
Yeah, I
about
can't
his
even look
moose
at.
toe. He's got a,
And can we just say these chairs suck? I
They
mean,
do
these are
suck.
scoliosis
That's okay.
creating.
That's okay. But they're free. But we do have some ideas about the studio. We've come up with a plan. I think
Plan of attack, and it'll be
couple of
cheap
weeks,
and easy.
It'll look awesome.
Yeah,
so we're
nothing
going to be
to it.
behind. John's got a great bar. I'm looking at it. I mean, a full-fledged bar. So we're going to kind of
Everybody's like
rearrange.
Norm, you know.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, duh. And it makes sense. That way we wouldn't have.
you know, it's going to be funny.
Space for
We're
all
going
of
to
our
start
stuff.
coming in for the show, and there's just going to be people at the bar drinking like,
Yeah.
Get out of our space.
We'll have to hire a bartender or whatever.
We're trying, yeah, and you'll get that chick from Nashville.
Ew.
It was in the pit bike race.
Oh.
oh, nipples.
You said she was a bartender.
Yeah, this.
That's what made me think.
Yeah,
of
this guy mentioned something about his cutting glass or whatever. Or no, what's his name? Cliff from the Colorado 500.
that.
Says
Norm and Cliff.
He says his wife, she cuts glass. He made reference.
She cuts glass. Hey, I know about that, Kevin. My wife cuts glass.
Yeah, he said she'll look after your stuff. He said you could park
He
your
did
stuff.
say that?
He did. You can park your stuff there. All good.
Will it be detailed? And
Cleaned up, ready to go. Yeah.
No, but there'll be holes in your window.
I need him to. Okay, I don't need holes in the window.
She's going to cut the glass of your
Oh,
windows.
she's gonna be up there. It'll be like these two circles cut out of it. What I'm really looking forward to, you know, if they do this, is putting chain and sprockets on Nick's bike while it's idle.
Yeah.
So it turns out you've turned into Nick's bike washer mechanic.
Now he's throwing the mechanicals on me.
Well, I got news for you. John's not going to be. We're going to have Jeremy Mcgrath on later.
Tonight. Yep.
That's our guest tonight. And if you guys have heard of him, he used to race Supercross
Pretty good.
sometimes.
He's a pretty good rider.
He was decent.
But
pretty good.
John's going to miss that because he's got to go
Yeah,
put
he's got to clean
tires.
that bike. He's put some tires on his bike.
Tires,
Nick needs that for
chain and
for
sprockets.
Friday. Nick's going riding Friday at Lazy River for the area qualifier. I'm going up there. I'm going to announce he's coming up there. Randy Richardson and his crew from South Carolina are coming over to qualify. It's the last
They've
qualifier of the
already
year.
Qualified. He doesn't need to come there. That's
I know.
that's
People
like-
do this though,
Yeah.
and it goofs up people like Nick.
Well, it's multiple series too, like
I know.
Southern All
SAS,
Stars,
Big
big,
yeah.
mega series, all the contingency. So even if you're just coming to race, it's a good one.
So
Big
Nick,
money. Yeah.
it's gonna Nick. You know, whatever place you finish, it's like you better send your money in because
Oh,
Yes.
all some of those people
not
they're
coming.
not even
Yeah.
part
I'm
of the
going to
deal.
qualify for the next qualifier with a 21-21.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because 20 people didn't have to go. They were
When you
just kinda
qualify for the
coming to race.
qualifier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's area qualifier time, man. It's Nick. He's got his mechanic John over here getting things dialed in. That's awesome.
Did you bring the bike?
I
Is it still in
didn't
the
have time
truck?
to take it out.
He went riding.
Oh yeah.
So he
Nick's
went
like,
riding.
I wasn't gonna have you do this, but
Fresh from riding, he rode at Ichikani. How many? 5 20-minute motos in the
Yes.
sand. Then he rode today. Then he's going to ride Friday, which is practice for Loretta and qualifier. Then he's taking off Saturday, let the hands recover, and then coming back Sunday to whoop.
race.
just sit in the
some
sauna
plus-
from Friday afternoon until Sunday morning. Try to be as dehydrated as possible.
That's what you want to be. You
that
wanna-
way you're lighter on the
You
start.
replicate the environment you're going to be in.
yes.
You know, they should do motos like it shouldn't be classes. It should be weight classes.
Can you
I'd be
imagine?
so much
Mountain
better
bike.
off.
You remember the Clydesdale class,
Yeah.
the over 200 class?
Oh yeah, I forgot
be
about the Clydesdale.
tough to
class.
beat.
Oh, let's tell you, when I was doing like you go to a lot of sprint triathlons, they'd have a Clydesdale
Yeah.
class.
Good luck with that.
I'd destroy them
Yeah,
because nobody could run.
yeah. You're always.
You know what I mean? I'd
you just happen to be 6'4" or
busted
something.
19-minute 5K at the end of a thing, and I'm just reeling everybody in.
That's one thing Nick can do. Anybody
can.
needs a TV stolen,
I'm good.
he
at
can
steering
run
stuff.
fast, so he'll get
Yep,
away.
He can hold that TV for a long period of time.
Yeah, strong.
Yep.
That's
I
what
got
happened
that-
to our TV.
That
Nick's got
crackhead
some
athlete.
steak juice on his nipple. Show.
Yeah.
Look at that nipple, dude.
I thought he had bled through like he's been
we
training
thought
so
he got
hard.
pierced, or maybe cornbread tried to snatch his hardware. You know.
Yeah, somebody snatched it out, but I had a steak in the car on the way over here.
As he
Homeboy-
always does. He has
Homeboy
more.
drives a
more-
5-speed with a freaking steak.
Do you know anybody that has as many car steaks as he does?
car
He's
steak?
got so many of them. He's got a steak glove he keeps in the glove box.
And now he's adding steak bib to his
And now I need
gear
to-
bag.
Yes, I need
How does
to
it hold the
steak
juices? You
cutter.
got an A1.
That was the problem
cup,
today.
man.
Is that steak was really juicy because it was pretty rare.
And it's gonna
And
it's
it
gonna
was-
run down
I
your
was-
steak bib.
I knew I got steak juice on my pants.
Well, get it to land right on your belt, and it'll like
Blend
season
in.
the leather.
No.
Yeah.
You know,
And,
it'll help
you know,
your
you
belt.
can use it for face balm. You know, that's the best. Like beef fat
right.
is what you
But no,
really.
the less you know about Nick's face balm,
That's-
the better off you'll
That's
be.
what I put on
True
my
story.
face.
Hey,
It's
so
what meat juice?
Beef fat.
upcoming races we've got.
Are you serious?
I
Hold
swear
up,
to God,
Kevin.
It keeps you going.
He puts fat from steak. Are we buying
I
this?
don't
I, feel
believe
like
that.
my dogs would be going
No.
crazy on your
Yes.
ass.
Yeah, your dog would be attacking him.
Be like,
I'm
oh,
just-
Every
God,
bear's
this dude's
chasing him down.
delicious.
It's called beef tallow.
He ain't laughing,
Okay, well
Kevin.
that's some hybrid bullshit. Like
No, it's whipped beef fat. That's what you
So
put on
you
your face.
need a bib and steak glove that captures the juice for later.
It smells good. You wake up dreaming about steak.
no wonder he eats steak all the time. He's like, man, I love
Boy, I
steak right
crave
now.
a steak all night. It's like they're grilling.
He's
in
licking his
room.
lips. Like,
It
I'm
almost
out.
covers up the cookie smell from my balls.
Yes, sugar
Wow,
balls.
a lot of smells going
Hey,
on.
I had a thought today. So, say your hair goes just
Oh, no.
freaking white one day.
Oh no!
Would
It's
you
gonna-
be
the old man's hair? But you should be white by now.
Yeah.
He's Cherokee Indian, dude. It's
I've
like,
got one gray eyebrow.
yeah, that's
do-
okay.
Michael
That-
Dukakis one. It's going wild over there.
yes.
That's for the older demographic.
But if your hair turned solid white one day, whatever age, would you then be called Snowballs Blackman?
Snowballs. There you go. I don't know.
Because that flows just as good as Sugar Balls.
I'm
It
great
does.
with Snowball.
Snowballs.
Snowballs Blackman, dude. Did you guys see it? Man, Snowballs
Well,
is killing
did
it.
you ever see the movie Clerks?
Clerks. Never heard of it.
Really? Kevin
Jesus.
Smith, but there was
Brandon Smith.
Brandon Smith's
a
brother.
guy in there, and they called Snowball. Clerks is a great indie, like it was Kevin Smith's first movie, it's an indie movie, whatever.
Before he got his team green.
Before
right?
Ackworth and
Yeah,
moving out and,
and his girlfriend was there, and like with him, and her and one of her friends. And this dude came in. They're like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Snowball?" And when he left, and when he left, he goes, "Well, why do you call that dude Snowball?" She goes, "Well, he likes you to spit it back in his mouth."
It's called Snowball.
I've never heard that.
Might not want to call him
Okay,
Snowball.
that's not where I was leaning with
And,
that.
and he
I
goes,
didn't. I've heard that back when I was like felching.
You've
all the
heard
other-
that?
Yeah, all
She
the other
said-
gross things.
And the funny part of the movie,
Oh,
the
that's
comedy
gnarly.
part was like, oh my God, she did that to them? And she dated him? And she was like, no, I did.
Gosh, yes.
There you go, Clerks.
All right, so that wasn't what I was thinking. I was more like we could dust Nick out with baby powder one day and call him Snowballs. Man, Snowballs Blackman just beat me in that last moto.
When my hair starts turning white, I'm going to let it grow out long again. I'm like Manny the shark hunter and just
Hell
white.
yeah.
I would not. That looks dope. I think that looks
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It also it flexes your seniority on people.
Super
you see all
long.
this seniority? You could like say it's
for
a
sure.
visual aid.
Absolutely.
If I could grow a beard, I would do that too if it gets white.
You could probably grow a beard.
No.
Hey,
You
John,
got to
hit-
not shave.
let's hit up our sponsors. All the great folks.
Already?
Speaking of sponsors, and I don't have a picture, and Randy Richardson told me I should have, and he's just better at this than I am. But he came and found me at Ichikani on
Yep.
Saturday, and he's like, dude, there's a guy on a KX over there. He's got #1 on a KX, and he's got helmet skin on, wearing it today.
Did you tell him to change his damn number?
Yeah, I mean,
You gonna tell him to change his number? Ain't nobody else running
No.
one up here but you.
Absolutely. That's BS.
So helmet.
So he's
skin,
running a helmet skin.
How many years has it been since anybody
Dude.
had a helmet skin?
I would.
It's been,
where would you get
It's
one?
been 5 days because there was a dude at Ichikani.
I got one in my bag. We've already proven. I've got
Prior
one.
to that,
Keep one with me at all times.
you are the only human on the
Randy
planet.
and Rob saw him, I think. They saw
Robbie
this
was
dude.
there too.
Son,
Yeah.
you know you got a panty on your head.
A panty.
That's raised in Arizona.
Yeah. You
Son-
got a panty.
Son, he goes, why do you have a panty on your head?
Well, so as Kevin's shirt says, Fast House has got to be the #1 supporter.
Huge. Just
Nick ran through some Fast House gear. Probably got some new gear coming.
he already
I
did.
did.
He already
He's got to
ordered
look
some.
good for the qualifier
Yep,
after
yep.
the qualifier.
You know what I ordered from Fast House? Hey, I needed T-shirts for the show, but I also ordered some solid white. They didn't have any solid white pants, but man, it gets hot.
Pants.
Like all those damn jerseys are hot. Like I got white jerseys and white gloves.
That's fine.
Just
You're just going to go
temperature-wise.
fast.
I can't go fast.
You got to stay out of the roost then.
Let me tell you though, I look fast.
It's before Labor Day. He can wear the white.
I look.
No, I think it's after Labor Day.
can't wear
Oh,
white.
before Labor Day. I'm thinking Memorial Day.
Yeah. Or as long as
I
R.
apologize,
Kelly's
Kevin.
not
That was a
around.
fashion faux pas from Hall.
when,
I feel so stupid right now.
but I
Seriously.
look fast when we're just standing around in the pits.
You should.
Like
Dude,
if,
you do look fast.
like if somebody's like, man, like people think that dude should look fast.
He looks like he could. Yeah, you remember how you used
Hey.
to sit in staging?
Guess what? I had a guy challenge me to announce a race like this.
He did.
He goes, I want you to do a whole, like, I will up there. I'm going to be
Let's
like,
do a moto. I'm coming up Saturday, so I can.
I can do like
Make you do
practices
this.
and stuff like that.
On Friday.
200cc bike boys,
There is no
the
200s at a
biker boys,
motocross
big
race.
strong boys in your gears and stuff.
Hey guys,
I don't want to say like gay. I just want to say normal stuff.
where our pizza's scandalous.
What do
Hey
they
guys,
call-
concession stands open. Get yourself a chili dog.
Go
What
there
are
and get
like
some of
older
that
guys called?
mayonnaise.
Like I know the big guys are called bears. What are they like older? They call like there's a name.
You're
for,
not
like,
a bear though. Don't bears
I'm
always
not
have a
bear.
beard?
Yeah, they're bearded up. and all
Yeah, you're
hairy
not
and
bearded,
stuff.
dude. You'll never be a bear,
I'm slick
Nick.
like an onion.
Yeah,
everywhere
you're
except
slick.
up
He's
there.
like a
And
baby.
everywhere you want him to be slippery,
But
squishy.
I'm just saying you could instead of whatever that name is, that's what you could call the vet classes.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Like if it was daddies, you're like,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
okay, the daddy's class to the
so we
line.
need that name.
whatever that name.
We need
is.
that name.
All you daddies, let's go get on your
If
bike.
some of those guys that watch the
Daddies.
show that
Oh, you
keep commenting on
daddies.
some of you guys that keep commenting on John's junk, if you
Meat
could tell us
stick.
what
Yes.
that name is.
Yeah, Randy Wood,
Ron
Josh
Mexico,
Strickland,
whoever you are.
freaking Mike Honcho.
Yeah, whatever that name is.
All you daddies out there.
The plus 50 daddies class.
All this like
Miss Vicky
pleasure.
would be like,
There's so,
Mr. Kelly, I don't know what you're trying to do.
there's so much pleasure in your voice right
Yeah.
now. You're just so pleased.
You could just call it plus 50 the sugar daddy class.
Yes, yeah, that's
Daddy's
okay.
class.
Sugar daddies. That's
my
not
daddy
bad.
class.
Sugar daddy. Sugar daddy.
I know y'all make a lot of money and y'all wouldn't mind supporting a little boy toy.
Little announcer boy.
You don't mind supporting a little guy up here in the announcer's tower, do you?
Come up here and see me.
You know,
Dang it. I can't even do it.
I knew a guy that he was kind of a
gross.
sugar daddy to this girl, and it was somebody. Neither one of them you'd have anything to do with.
Okay.
right? Like no, but he was older, probably 50 something. She was 25-year-old stripper,
Young, innocent stripper, just trying to pay for college.
Sure.
Yeah, like at a
Just-
Blue Flame or something. And
Not that we're getting specific. And that address is 1488.
No idea what that is.
Bankhead Highway.
Yes,
And
Bankhead
so
Highway.
The dude was literally like, "Hey man," it's an older black guy. He's like, "Listen man, she's 25. It cost me $800 a month for an apartment. It's worth every penny."
I mean, way I look at it right now, matter
Was
of
this
fact,
man
that's
married?
pretty cheap.
Huh?
Was he married?
I don't know. Didn't ask. Wasn't-
No reason for that.
Has to be. Like,
We
why
don't
would he
need
do
to
it?
ask that.
That was as far into his business as I ever wanted to be.
That was as deep as you wanted
If
to
he's
bury
fronting
it.
her a spot, like, she's got to be married.
Yeah, something's going on. No, he's got to be married.
He's got to be married. Yes.
She's just trying to pay for college.
She's just trying to.
She's just a poor girl that
I'm
lost her
gonna be
way.
a nurse. I'm gonna be a nurse, Daddy.
Yeah, Daddy.
Yeah,
With your help.
and she was making about 4 bills a night.
I got a daddy.
For sure.
A daddy
Straight
scholarship.
Straight up cash. We ain't paying taxes.
She's on that sugar daddy scholarship.
The Hope Daddy scholarship.
Exactly. So besides Fast House,
Yeah, hit him up, man. Let's go.
I mean, for real, the Faster Mini guys,
Yes.
Faster Minis,
Brother Craig
Brother Craig
from Alabama.
can make a freaking mini bike go fast, be durable, be trick,
Coolest crap stuff.
all the good stuff.
All
if
the
you want to
goods.
get it from Faster Minis, Helmet Skin seems to be making a resurgence
It's coming back.
Beaver
because they
skins.
have been spotted at major tracks throughout the southeast.
Rhino skins.
Rhino skins, which is
Slater skins.
really good for the engine heat. It holds the
I think
heat
so.
in, helps the bike really get up to operating temperature.
Fast.
Lever skin. Say you tip over in a turn, we don't need that junk scratched up, making your junk look stupid. Let's say there's mosquitoes. Skintimate lotion.
Yeah.
You just bathe yourself in Skintimate
Skin
or
So
Skin So
Soft.
Soft.
Yeah.
Either one of those will repel mosquitoes.
For sure.
I mean, pork skins, lever. We already said lever skins. How about blouses versus skins? Pig skin, lamb
Did you
skin.
ever have lever skins? The stickers
never
for
did
your
that.
levers? We did. They were
I wasn't
lime
like
green.
that. I wasn't no pansy.
They were lime green. They looked awesome.
I could pull my clutch in without having grip.
It looked cool.
It did. I don't need all that though.
I cut grooves in my fingers.
I'll never forget, man. So that the first time I raced, somebody took a picture, and I've posted it before.
Cameras were that big back then.
It was a 110 Instamatic. And you had to slide your finger across the top like this.
I remember.
Rewind that film back up. So it's me and Brandon Smith and a guy named Louis Gonzalez.
This is your first race?
First race.
You hooked
And-
up with Brandon Smith day one. That's
well, he
awesome.
went to my school, so
Oh, okay.
I already knew where he was racing, so I
Did
went
he
there.
pay to get in, or he sneak in? Like
No,
you did?
he paid.
Yeah, 3 brothers. He ain't
Yeah,
sneaking
they're
the
not
whole family
sneak. You
in.
can't sneak. It'd be like crossing the
Brandon,
border.
Kevin,
Robbie Smith.
Wasn't there a Kevin Smith?
Yeah, that's the youngest one.
Had 4 of them.
No,
Also-
3 of them.
Also, the
Brandon,
guy
Kevin,
Robbie, Kevin.
Brandon,
Okay,
Robbie.
okay.
directed Clerks.
So yes, exactly. So there's a picture of me. They had rubber band start, and I'm coming out of the taking off or whatever off the starting line, and my finger's still in the clutch, which it's going to be on the clutch all the way down the first straight. But this guy at school, he's sitting there and he's like, "Why in the hell is your hand on the clutch?" And I said, "Because I just let it out. Like I'm about to shift again. Like there's a lot of things going on here, man." Pussies use the clutch. He goes, "You can shift that thing the whole time without the clutch. You don't need that clutch."
He said that to you.
In 1986 at Autry Middle School, Miss Detmering science class, I'll never forget that. I was like, "Miss Detmering, could you hold tight? This clown back here is trying to educate me on clutch use, and he's wrong." And he was wrong. He had a Suzuki DR100. Have you
You're
ever
taking
even,
advice? Yeah.
You've heard of that motorcycle?
Hell yeah, I have.
DR100.
Yes.
I mean,
They had white ones, yellow ones.
Yeah, this was a yellow one. Him and his brother both had
The
them.
white ones were rare.
Actually, it might have been a DR125.
I had a
I feel bad for not
white
knowing that.
DR250, but
It had the white, blue, different shades of blue on the tank.
But
swirling
with
around.
that motorcycle, were you walking up to people saying, looking at their race pictures and going, "You
I wasn't doing
pussy."
anything. That thing weighed about 9,000 pounds. I didn't keep
that
it
tank
long.
weighed 200 pounds. It
Yeah,
was
I bought it.
bulletproof.
Is that empty? Is that dry weight?
bulletproof, son.
That bike was the first
Pope
thing
rode around
You can
that
rob
son of a bitch.
banks in it.
Yes.
I ever sold to like anybody like out of a
Sell that
cycle
tank for
trader or
$1,000
whatever.
for
Like,
scrap
I-
You
metal.
sold that bike on Cycle Trader?
Yeah, some dude from Peachtree City came
2
up.
lights, double light.
gotta
on
have it.
one
2
light.
adults. I was like 13. I don't know why I thought
Your
I-
dad let you handle the sale of this thing and everything?
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Oh,
get
it's
you bill of
time,
sale
son.
here.
That's why you're in the car business right
yeah,
now.
that's it. And the guy came up there
Your dad's cool with it? Did you even ask about your dad?
Huh? No.
Back then, parents didn't weigh in on their kids' lives.
Crazy.
He was like,
so what'd you do today, Nick? Oh, I made $1,300 on
I
a
sold
bike
that
sale.
bike y'all gave me. I made all kinds of profits.
I
Like
got the bill of
100%.
sale. I put it down on a Camaro. What?
Go ahead, Nicholas.
The guy he came up from Peachtree City, which was, it's like
2-3 day trip.
yeah, might
By
as well
horseback.
been only an hour, really,
Right.
hour and a half, And so in my mind, I'm like, man, this like the dude drove from Texas.
It's another planet.
He came up and started to try to talk me down the
Well, I
price.
don't
I was like
know.
30. I was like, nope.
Nick's
Nope.
13.
Whoa.
Nope.
But
You
you were the
drive a
same
hard
height as
bargain,
him, and you
son.
could have whooped his ass if need
I
be.
just remember just being like,
No, sir.
dude, you already drove 2 hours.
You want this.
Anytime somebody comes that far, that's a great thing to know. They're buying it.
Yeah.
You
I
got
was
the
like,
leverage.
nah.
Yeah, tell them to leave. Say, well, you can go back without it.
Yeah, if you're a dipshit like me and you flew to Louisiana one way and bought a truck and then had to bring it to Nick because it was a piece of shit and we sold it at the red light auction, got so damn lucky.
Really?
I bought this truck, flew to Louisiana.
What was it?
Probably 2019 F-250, jacked up. It was, from the out, looked good.
It was a good 20
Was
footer.
it? This is
Yeah.
2019's 6.7. Is it a diesel?
I don't think it was a diesel, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So that's a 6.7.
But and this is during COVID.
correct.
So this is right before, during COVID. And I buy it and I drive it home like, man, I messed up.
They're calling.
Oh, that,
It's the dude with the red
McGrath?
truck. Don't be bashing my truck. I sell a truck to a man. You don't
this
bash
dude
me on the
tracked you
internet.
down. So I
Bash
got,
a man on the internet.
I take
Called
this.
me from Peachtree City.
Holy shit.
yeah, they're
the
calling.
hell?
Hey, I need a refund on my flak jack and this DR
32 years later.
Yeah,
I drive this truck home and it's not, something's up. It's got a horrible and 30 goes, whoa, bam. And it's something's up.
Jesus.
Something's up. So
At highway speed.
I
it's
tell
going
you to
wah-bam.
Nick and his mechanics at one of his car lot, his mechanics, he throws it up on the rack. He goes, oh, man.
Oh,
He grabs
hell.
the slop and the whatever. He goes, I said, what are you saying? He goes, about $20,000 right there.
I mean, it needed like
Transmission.
transmission, transfer case, rear end.
That's a lot of
It
parts.
had been like,
And this truck's what, at the time, 3 years old, 2 years?
but
not
a lot
very
of
old.
power. It's
I
fun
think
to
it,
floor
yes,
it.
and I think it had been. Did we figure out it had been it'd been in water? or
It's on a
something?
pipeline is what we're thinking because
Yeah,
it was one of them trucks, windows are down, dusty as shit in all the places you could tell that
We just
somebody
like
cleaned it
let
up.
that dust come in all day.
Leave it open.
That's my brother's move.
So Nick then goes, I can help you with this. He goes, I don't know how this is going to go, but takes it up that auction at Lake Point, that big one,
First, we throwed banana peels in the rear end.
and it shot him
We
out.
put cedar shavings in the motor.
Suck up some of that slack for about 5 minutes till it heats up. So you got one shot selling this thing. But he ran it through this thing, a red light, which you can't touch it. You just see it, you buy
see it, you buy
and
it,
you
you
get
make a choice, right?
And dude, I think we might have made $400 or broke right
so.
even.
Are you
It made
serious?
money.
Yeah,
You are so lucky.
Oh my God.
yeah. It was very.
I was like,
very fortuitous.
How did you? I mean, what made is Nick's advice is what saved you?
oh, absolutely. His
Yeah,
mechanic
so
goes, this
you
is,
owe him.
I do.
About
It-
time your
it
ass
legit
started
was-
washing bikes at the track.
It legit was going to take $10,000 to get the truck.
That's not good. Diesels will do that to you.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot.
This dude had
was
hoarded
everything,
out.
I had
man.
$300,000 in F550s
With your
repair with
business.
replacement motors.
Oh yeah,
30,000 a pop with,
we
with
used
all
to-
the nonsense that they would destroy when they blew up.
in the car business, we used to say, like in the 2000s, it'd be like, yeah, but every time you lift the hood on a diesel, it's $500.
That's the truth.
Now it's like $1,500.
Yeah, it's just more, but yeah, it's the
Yeah.
truth. Every time you do something, they're awesome to drive and they pull like nobody's business and they are more reliable today.
Yeah.
But that 6-liter Ford was the biggest pile. Ford should have recalled that. When I die and I meet Henry Ford,
I'm going to slap
first
his
thing
mama in
I'm
the
gonna
mouth.
say.
You know, like the 06, I think we talked about this, like the 06 Chevrolet and GMC diesels, whatever they were, the 6.6.
But that was a good the LBZ, maybe LB something.
My brother-in-law put 600,000 miles
I think that's really the best Duramax
on,
diesel there's
on
ever
one
been.
of those motors.
Yep.
Took it out, put a new one in it, and put 600,000 miles on
believe
that
it.
one. And
Amazing the truck's still holding together. Like it
Yeah,
should have
everything
turned
else
to
should have.
dust, right?
with the same transmission and rear end. He had 1.2 million miles on this truck.
That's incredible.
My dad had 370 in his Toyota,
On the Toyota.
and he stopped changing oil. He goes,
Man.
he goes, I ain't changed oil in 100,000 miles. The last 100,000 miles, he had the.
I told them boys, I was like, them Japs sold
and how
me
you
this.
argue? I couldn't argue the point. The old man, like he goes, it,
Kept
it
running.
didn't leak a drop. He had that R22, whatever that
Yeah.
22R motor.
22R.
Holy, it was the first gen. had to have been 86, right after like
I can
Winners
picture the
Take
truck,
All.
but I cannot
Not Winners
remember.
Take- Back to the Future.
Yeah.
I cannot remember the exact body
It
style.
was
I
white.
remember the truck.
Or excuse me, it was blue,
Blue.
with a little bit of an extra cap, and then he had the white wheels, and we're like, ooh, those are terrible. And then we found some gunmetal gray,
I remember that.
and then we jam up.
Here you go, Pops. You're not
Those
embarrassing the
Toyotas,
family.
man, you couldn't kill them.
It's probably still blown up.
He sold
Probably
it, and it was still running. He sold it to another dude. One of
Jason
his,
Grogan-
Dewberry or Doc or whoever the hell them
the dude
fools
that this 623 Honda over here, he hit a horse with an 80 model Toyota, and it totaled the damn truck. Right, the
That
horse
motor
come
just
through the
kept running.
windshield and everything. Yeah, it's still running. Well, he just parked it out in the woods
How did
next
I
to his
kill
house.
him?
Jesus.
Oh, it was close.
Full size horse.
He was beating. He came around around a curve at night, and the horse is in the road. And dude, he just hit it wide
Ichabod
open.
Crane.
What?
Yes,
The
Ichabod.
British are coming.
Yeah, so he didn't know there was going to be a horse in the road, and he couldn't
Of
stop
course
in
not.
time. So he hit it, and the dang. It
That
come
ain't
up-
something you plan for normally, though, right? Hey, you
Well,
got to be ready,
You
man.
go around a curve.
You
and
never
run.
know. You got to always be looking for a
It's
damn
mostly
horse.
at night you let off.
Them horses come out of the side
Don't
like a
you
deer,
go around
son.
them curves wide open, son. You know the horses are out.
Story of Jason Grogan.
Well, but he parked that truck in the woods. It's an 80 model Toyota 4-wheel drive by the woods. He goes, you wouldn't believe how many people stopped a month trying to buy this demolished Toyota from him. And I'm like, why don't
I'll
you
give you
sell it?
$8,000 for it. That's all I'll do.
Listen,
I
sorry.
want that 22R,
Carfax says
baby.
a damn Clydesdale. You hit a Clydesdale.
God, I'm going to cut. I need a chainsaw to buy it from you, but
Cut that horse out of it.
I
if I could-
literally, the other saying used to be when a car, if a car you could tell been wrecked bad, there's man, that thing's been hit by a train, and so that was just like the
Right.
common thing. Literally, we had a car one time with a Carfax. Somebody was trying to trade it in.
hit by a
Hit
train.
by a
Literally
train.
said hit by a train.
That's not good.
Dude, I pulled out a freewheeling Honda when I was 17 in my VW Rabbit diesel.
And you had that. Josie's on a vacation far away. That was on the damn radio as soon as you come
Probably.
out.
I mean-
guarantee it. Did you just cranked it? 'Cause
It's every time.
I'm trying to get like the feel.
No, I
of
had
the day.
15s. I had 15s in the back, and then I had a Zeus amp.
So it was
and
more
then a
like
Pioneer head unit that you could take it off. Can I finish? No.
What
But
year was this?
hang on, let me change my position and get my meat bag.
This was I had the Rabbit was an 83 diesel Rabbit.
God, that's freaking chick magnet.
I
dude.
pulled out of freewheeling Honda and hit a truck full of Hispanic people, or they hit me, and I remember that
before
they
this
slid
was
out
common.
and they flew in the air, and they were all good. They scattered.
They flew in.
They
the
were scattered,
air.
and I went to the hospital, and when I got back, my dad said, "Yeah, we're gonna fix your car." I'm like, "All right, what are you thinking about?" Like he went and clipped it. He chopped that thing in half.
Say what you did. is You saw it right here.
That's not a joke. It was I had a beige one hooked to the mine. Mine was white, and he hooked mine to a beige one and freaking
All you
welded
gotta
it
do is
together.
reconnect these brake lines and fuel lines. You dumbass.
You think that's exactly what it, I had blue
believe
front
it.
interior and I had tan back interior.
Stop it.
True story. I'm like, what? This is the
Stop it.
craziest.
That car was the biggest mismatch.
That's an honest to God's truth. He clipped it, and because he had buddies that were all in the car fixing business up by the Bremen way of doing it. So
yeah,
they-
which means
they welded
hey,
that
we
shit.
got all these stolen
That's
cars.
how Ken got his first car. They bought a crashed Escort, and his buddies fixed it. And mine, they clipped. I had blue front interior. You sitting in the back in the brown, bro.
On TV, they call that a chop shop.
I know. I'm thinking like, did y'all
There
have
you go.
They're all
a
stolen.
black Silverado?
Hey, go
come
get all
through
them
there?
catalytic converters your buddies have back at school. You know what? That's weird.
It'll
but
save
all right.
us a lot of money on this build.
Yeah, airbags are really popular these days. You know, they just come out. So why don't you go get some of them too?
The only
True
king,
story.
only king could saw a car in half and just
That's what he gave me. He felt safe. No, oh, you're good.
Hey.
That car blew up
that car was welded right.
on highway. So did it ever give you a
Yeah,
problem?
it didn't ever give you a problem.
On Highway 5, I had put oil in it. So the injectors are right there. When you take the oil cap off, you can see the injectors on that little diesel motor or whatever the lifters, whatever
that's
whatever
valves.
valves. You can see the valves. They go brrr, like that. Yeah, sorry, not injectors. But
It's okay. It's no judgment zone. I mean, it don't matter if you get everything wrong. You can
and
just say whatever you want.
The air breather is right there by it, so it would suck air. So I left the air or the oil cap off after I put oil in it, and I pull up on the off ramp, and my car hangs wide open. I'm like, what is this thing doing? It goes, whoa,
Runaway diesel.
and it's just going, whoa, and it's blowing oil. And I pull the key out, and it's still going, whoa,
Because it was going back through the intake.
and it was just
coming
continuing.
through
Yes,
the- yeah.
and they call the fire department.
Oh, you're feeding it fuel, basically, because it'll run on
It's
little
running
bit.
on oil.
Yeah.
And it's like, rah, and it's, I get out, I'm like, this thing's gonna blow up. So I get out, go to the whatever. They call
He
fire-
dives behind
They
some
call
bushes.
911, and some guy, like, he pulls a plug, he does something to kill it. He goes, boom. And I'm like, huh. And
But
I
it didn't blow up.
did not blow up. I went and put 5 quarts of oil in it, put the cap back on, went on my date for the night, didn't skip a beat, ran forever.
Knowing you
Unbelievable.
stunk like hell.
Back then, Volkswagen made a good car too.
Super durable.
I mean,
Don't
I
they
had a
still?
friend that had one of those.
Diesel
No.
Rabbit.
Those Diesel Rabbits. So I had
Ran it out of oil till it just stopped, and then it blip, blip, blip. Then it
I
went
don't
on.
know how you
should be good now.
Those people had to hit you though, because my buddy had one, and
The Spaniards?
you couldn't. It didn't go fast enough to hit somebody with
No,
it.
I pulled out of freewheeling.
I was
I
gonna
hit
say,
them.
Because he had the
I pulled out,
dang outfield
yes.
wide open.
They would
Yes.
be. They'd be.
I
They got.
just wanted you.
You were going. Somebody had time to move at that diesel. Like it was.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
bet it was like
60 mile an hour
yeah,
uphill
and they were
at
just-
best.
yes.
Best it would do.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's after
With
a
AC
long,
off.
fast downhill.
Yes.
Windows
Hey,
up.
My buddy that had
Like
one.
a roller coaster.
We were coming home one night and he flipped it.
A Diesel Rabbit?
Yes, and that was the second car I'd been in where somebody flipped it upside down.
I've only
Wow.
been in one, and that's the sketchy situation.
I never done that.
You hit a bunch of that goddamn Mexicans.
Well,
You,
I didn't
you
mean
said
to. I
they were
pulled out.
flying through the
They
air.
were. They were in the back of a truck, and they
Both-
slid and like pop. I just remember seeing people kind of.
seeing the skin.
Both
Yes.
cars I flipped over in was prior to the seatbelt law, and so I wound up.
We don't need them.
Hey, I was laying on the roof of both cars. Like I was
That
just like,
amazing that you're not hurt.
Jesus.
I mean, think about your nipple blood
I know.
tonight.
Dude, it'd be
I'd
way
never
worse.
take
It'd be
it tonight.
way worse than that.
At this age, it'd be a lot worse. I just crawled out
At
of both
this
cars.
age.
One of them, a guy flipped it right near my house, and he was like the older brother of a friend of mine,
Tom Cruise.
and he was mean as shit. Like me and this dude wound up fighting like 3 times in my life.
I remember this guy.
Yeah, and so
You've told me about this.
Have you ever fought one guy twice?
No, it's only once. I
No, it was
chose my
actually-
competitors one fight,
it
and I
was
said,
actually
that's it.
twice. And
We're
once-
retired.
What was your record of these 3 fights?
1-1.
Son of a bitch.
Well, you
Well,
fought him
well,
3 times.
don't- question
the first time
Blackman.
it wasn't really me. He beat the shit out of this other kid, and I really just.
It's like
was trying to
collateral
break it up.
damage. Like, oh God, I'm in the
Yeah.
fight too.
You were going to protect. You were standing up for the
No,
kid.
I wasn't, because I told the kid not to run his mouth. I said, "Man, that guy will beat the shit out of you. You need to try to leave
You
him
should
alone."
listen to Nick. He's very
Nick
wise.
knows. He-
I just sold a motorcycle 30 minutes ago. I'm wise.
he can
son.
read people.
Oh, and I wasn't lying. I was like, "Man, I'm telling you, leave him alone. He's gonna get
You
loose. in a
keep
minute. He's
on.
gonna-"
You going to
And he
keep on.
did.
That's
He
what you
ran
do.
down
I've
there and
seen it
beat
a
his
million
ass.
times. You keep on.
So the next time, he definitely got the best of me. And then a couple years later, I had grown and gained about
Oh, shit,
35
there he
About
is.
pounds.
6 feet of height.
And I was ready for him the next time.
What'd you do? Like, hey, we got to have a rematch. Did y'all schedule it? Like, how'd this work out?
Some bitch got smart.
no,
he
the-
kept on. You don't keep on.
You just
If
keep
there's one
on,
thing
and you
do,
couldn't help
don't keep
yourself.
on.
You know what? The next time,
Keep on.
he knew he'd already kicked.
You're just gonna keep on, ain't you?
Yeah, he'd already kicked my ass once, and I
Whoa.
think that he just
He's
thought
like,
That's
well,
crazy
he needs
confidence.
another one.
he could pick on me again. You know what I mean? I think
And
that's
it's a
what it was.
different day now.
I'll tell you right now, I'll come up there and come unglued on your damn head.
He was trying to show off at my expense the last time.
And it bit him. It bit
bit
him.
him.
You gonna
son.
keep on.
And he's
And look
still
what
talking.
happened there.
He's probably like, man, one time I was gonna school this dude, and
I learned a
go
lot
so
that
good.
day. I became a man.
You know what?
that day.
Because the time that he kicked my ass, he was older, and I remember I
should've
was
been
like
older the next
maybe
time.
like 75, 78 years
he should have
old.
been older the next time too. It don't matter.
He
10
was
years
older
later, he's
too.
still
well,
older.
the first time I was like 13, and he was probably 17.
That's a
Damn.
freaking. I don't want to mess with that range.
No.
And
Ever.
so I didn't stand a chance. And then the next time
He was
I
flush with
I was
cash.
51. He's like 70. I whooped the shit
Nick
out
was
of him.
flush with cash.
I was up there at Whole Foods. I beat that man's ass with some
So the
bread.
next time I was like 17.
We was
Like,
up there in the potato section. I said, "Listen, here,
These
son.
Idaho potatoes is coming at him 100 mile an hour.
But before, well, I tell you why, because he flipped the car, right?
Yeah. Oh,
And
this
so
is the guy.
The guy,
So-
I was in the car with him, and
You
he
mother!
flipped the
You don't
car.
ever flip a car with me again.
And I was pissed, and like
I ain't never come
that
out of a
will
car
change
accident.
your day.
A car
Like,
accident.
Say
and
you're
won't
upside
fight
down in the
somebody.
car. It changes
Yeah.
you.
You didn't survey everybody like, oh, that mother. Are you hurt? Well, good.
it wasn't
Yeah.
that night. He flipped it right across from Kawasaki City,
That-
in that field, right across the
I'm
street.
familiar.
He went down that embankment, drunk as a skunk.
What kind
Flips it
of
over.
what? We're Volkswagen.
The big Cutlass.
The Cutlass. Yes.
Yes. And so I'm
The
laying on
big-ass
the roof,
car.
and I'm mad. Before it even flips, I'm pissed because I didn't want to get in the car with him anyway.
Told you.
And so
He's flipping it.
Before
ain't
it
he?
flips.
It rolls over.
Nick's cussing
And I
him.
cried.
I gotta tell my mom.
Yeah, he's like, everybody just stay here and be cool. And I
Just
lived,
let this car's flipping. Everybody be cool.
I lived 500 yards.
Man,
through
they're
the
matter of factness
woods,
of these
you know what I mean?
dickens.
Like as the crow flies, I was 500
As he's upside
yards.
down, her be cool.
And
Yeah,
he's like,
that's that car
he's like, hey
rolls.
man, if you leave, I'm gonna kick your ass. And I was like,
Everybody be cool, man.
Shoot, we fitting to turn over.
and I was pissed and scared, and I was like, you can eat shit. You know what I mean?
So as you're flying through
there.
there, you're like,
So then, about a year later, we still had some bad blood about it.
That's okay though.
You found
You turn a man over in a car, you gonna have some bad blood.
Yeah.
This second time I've been upside down in the car. I got to fight somebody.
Both times
Hey,
with him, you flipped the
And
car.
no, it was somebody else. The first
Okay,
time.
I'm
But
like, dang,
The funny
son.
thing is, the other time I wasn't a diesel rabbit. But the funny thing was, like, that's the first. When he flipped the car, I was probably 15 or 16.
That was 2 years after that
And I
ass
had to be
whooping he
15
took.
because I would have never been. I would have been driving.
I've been
I
doing
wouldn't
jump
have been riding with
roping
it.
and push-ups.
And
Toted
so,
that ass whooping.
like in 1985, that's the first time I'd ever learned anything about drunk driving. You know what I mean? Like first, like I had driver's ed.
Well, how
like,
could alcohol mess you up?
I know? And so we got in the car, and I was like, man, I don't really
Synced
want to
it
ride with him.
firsthand.
He's drunk.
So
I don't
you
wanna ride with
you
him.
were 15 and you had that thought?
Yeah, I was like, well, no, I said it out loud. I was like, man, I don't want to ride with this cat. He's drunk. They're like, no, I'll be fine. We're not going famous last words. It's fine. We're not going for it.
I got this. That's just nobody says that, Kevin.
But by that time, he was like 20, so it was like he was adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Turn on 96 Rock.
That's right.
Go, let's do this.
Put some Billy Squire on. We're strolling down the road to Billy Squire. Stroke me, stroke.
Yeah,
Next thing you know,
y'all were too stoked over
cars on
stroke
his
me.
roof.
That's a
I
bad
will
feeling,
kick his
dude.
ass.
Oh, it was,
So, yeah.
I wasn't studying kicking his ass. All I was wanting to go home.
Next
Yeah.
thing you know,
I
he's
was like, I'm
learning
out.
karate for a year straight.
going
He went
home.
into hiding.
Yep, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, non-stop.
How many fights have you been in?
Couple
Do you
hundred.
even know? Like, seriously, could you keep a count? Give me a roundabout number.
I'd say I've been in 10. I'd say 10. And I would say I won probably 7 of the 10.
Okay.
But it was all young, very
been
young,
in-
like 15.
2 fights.
I had a lot of anger as a young
I whooped the
child.
shit out of a kid on a bus. I was
Oh, Craig. I busted up Craig.
no Jake Leslie. I said, you do that again, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
Busting him out.
And dude,
Do that again, I'm busting
it was
him
like
out.
7th grade. I punched him so fast and so many times, and I sat me down. I was like, "Whoa,
can't
that
believe I
was
just
pretty. That was pretty easy, man." I was like, "What did I just do?"
You just went ape
I was
shit,
over
like-
it. Yes.
yeah.
And then the next time, I was feeling good because this is after my 1-1.
Son, I'm
1-0,
right now, I'm
baby.
1-0.
So this dude hockey jersey me and playing basketball, and I slapped him first. And dude, he didn't really beat. He just controlled me because he had my shirt over my head, and I was out of gas. I had nothing.
See, Nick, I do that to Amanda all the time. As soon as she starts to take her shirt off, as soon as it's in a bad spot, I attack. Get that shirt about
Hold her
halfway
down
off.
on the floor.
Attack.
So you're 7-10, or
No, they
You've
were
lost 3
dumb
out of 10.
fights, though. They were people like, this is young.
What about
this is
Nick's?
14 and younger.
I don't even.
I'm not putting them numbers out. He don't want to give a body count.
Nick's like,
know what?
I've probably killed 8 people.
Y'all probably get the shit beat out of me because it's like if I
Everybody's
like,
gonna be
this dude's
targeting
he
Nick.
wants to challenge
Some
this.
bitch thinks he can beat
You go to
anybody.
VMD, just people
if
want to
we
fight him the whole
talk-
time.
Talk real numbers, and somebody's gonna be like, "Well, damn, all right."
What if we roll into VMD and there's nothing
I'll
but
announce that shit.
boxing
Anybody
rings?
want some of this action
dude's just standing
right
there.
here? We got
Hey,
gloves.
because let me explain. Those days are past.
When there's
Whatever
40,000
Yes.
people, somebody can beat you up.
whatever,
All the time, for
all
sure.
the time. Whatever
I'll
those
announce it
numbers
though.
are,
I'll find that man that wants some of that smoke.
Want some
No.
Nick Black?
I'll tell you where we're parked.
We're in the nightclub. Just
Nick's
come
just
find
beating
us.
people up. I'm so tired.
Nick's in the nightclub just warming up.
Got his hands taped all the time. Like, why is your hands taped?
those days are long gone. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
That's exactly all we want to do is laugh, Kevin.
I'm a laugher.
Quit trying to get us in the
laugher, not a fighter.
Exactly. We
Me
just
and
want
you
to
both.
laugh.
Me and you both. So we got Jeremy Mcgrath coming up. Like, we haven't even thought about what we even want to ask
haven't
him.
even thought
like
about
people ask, like,
motorcycles.
no, not at all. Like from where he began BMX wise. I want to ask him about Bob Hanna. I'll be like, Hannah's the original BMX guy, from what I gather.
Yeah.
And he
I got
talks-
a couple of BMX
He talks about the
questions.
downhill stuff, and of course the Shan Hatfield stuff. He's
Yeah.
going to resonate with him because him and Shan were. He would always say, "What's up?" to Shan every year. He go, "What's up, Shan Hatfield?"
from-
at the Atlanta Supercross.
Yeah,
I remember
for real.
that.
Yeah, he would say, but one year he kind of botched it. He goes, "What's up, Atlanta, Georgia? I'm from Marietta too."
Yeah.
Murrieta.
Because
No,
he's from Marietta.
Murrieta, yeah.
And that crowd just sat there. I ain't gonna bring that up.
You should. He'll laugh about it. I'll do it. He'll totally
Okay,
laugh
we'll
about
tell
it.
him.
Well, you don't want to tell a joke that took any intelligence at the Georgia Dome when everybody's 27 beers in.
Yeah,
That's
don't worry
true.
about us.
I never thought about
We're
it.
dumber than hell. So he was trying to be funny, and we're just dumb. We didn't get his
What's
California
up,
awesome.
Atlanta?
I'm from Murrieta too.
from
You know what
Murrieta.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Boo.
They just sat there.
They
There was
probably
no
weren't-
response.
They probably weren't feeling him anyway
I
because
think
we
they
were
were
East
all
Coast
like-
guys anyway.
Yes, true.
We all
You know-
wanted whoever Damon Bradshaw.
And
you-
there, I was a McGrath fan. I liked him. I remember when he won when he first won, he won 4 races in a row. And I remember
he won like
talking,
5 or so.
yeah, I'm talking with Belts, and I'm like, he was 4 races in or 3 races into the old streak, and I was like, who's this guy think he is? Like,
Coming in there. This is Jeff Stanton and Rick Johnson. Like,
Yeah.
Honda had such a run. Just think about it. They just kept passing
They
the
were
torch
the epitome
but-
of
from Bailey to
winners.
O'Mara.
after that, I was a fan. I wasn't one of the, but a lot of people hated on McGrath because he made it almost boring.
It was
But
very
usually
boring.
they came back around. I know I did.
I totally did.
I went from God, this dude, and then oh my God, it's not even worth watching the race. He's gonna win, and then eventually it's like, let's just see if
The
he
only
can keep
question
winning.
was, and it was because we were too dumb to realize that he was the first person that would sprint and then manage.
for sure.
You know, the question was when LaRocco got such a shitty start,
Oh, that was
and then
fun.
LaRocco was coming through the pack,
What if
and
Laraco
you're-
got starts?
and you were like,
Then
yeah,
MC would have went hard for 10 more laps and just broke him.
yeah.
But yeah, there's no doubt you can't really argue it. But Laraco was
He was a bad man.
dude.
Huffin was a bad man. There was times where Ezra was the guy. There was
Yeah.
Wyndham, and there was all these guys that would take shot, but he just kept. Who wants it?
Yeah,
He would consistently take
that's-
and
shots.
he's a super
Listen,
cool guy.
He's like Mike Tyson. He retired people.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
100%.
He retired a generation.
Tons of
Stanton,
people are like, I'll never win.
Bradshaw,
He retired
Emig,
a decade of riders.
Probably Kudrowski.
and then RC had to come in there and
Dethrone.
his work
Somebody's
and-
got to dethrone
But
you.
it's
right?
kind of weird. Like I was so not into MC because it was so boring and like in terms of him winning so much. But I definitely appreciate. I love how he looked on a bike. But I guess I love Bradshaw so much. It's like, oh, this dude just
burns
crushed
your
my guy,
core.
man. And then Ricky comes in. I'm like, I loved Ricky from the perfect seasons back. I loved
Yeah.
every bit. Why is that so though? Well, I love Ricky.
He's an East Coast guy.
I'm like, hell yeah, win every one of them.
He's from
Demoralized.
Florida, so-
I think it really boils down. I'm that obtuse, and that's the
You're
way
that redneck.
stupid.
And
It's dumb, but
You're
I
that dirt road, mud, tars, lift kid.
ADD kicks in again. The picture I sent you guys didn't look that much, but that picture that Buddy posted, that dude looks like so much like Carmichael, man.
I'm not seeing that picture, but I did see another couple
You're talking
pictures.
about your doppelganger?
No, there's a guy that's Carmichael's doppelganger.
It must have been. I saw another photo. I saw a little bit more of it, and I'm sure it's probably what you're seeing. But that photo you sent us, I'm like, I'm not really seeing it.
No, you
Well,
don't
I
look at
could
that.
feel it, but I'm like, am I supposed to know this guy?
No, you
Yeah.
got to. If you
I was
see
on the
it-
wrong
if
page.
you
Anyway,
see
we're
this
talking about
guy
a
in
photo
person-
that he sent of a guy that was at Ichikani that looked like Ricky, and you took it and sent it to
Said
us.
hanging with RC.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
wasn't.
I could feel it.
If you see this guy in person, you're gonna be like, "Oh shit, he does look
He's
like
freaking
Carmichael."
RC.
But-
yeah. Yeah.
They-
so-
hey, it's almost impossible. They're not. They look a lot alike, and they're like the same height.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
I mean, like
for sure.
Well, nobody's understanding. Nobody has a clue what we're talking
He
about.
wasn't as feist as Ricky.
he was.
But so back to MC and then Ricky and all that stuff. It was just, I don't know. Maybe I've evolved, and I'm appreciating what Jet's doing. I'm loving,
He is
whatever it is.
Beautiful on a motorcycle.
He is.
So is Chase.
So is
Those
RC.
two.
Oh, they are the best. They
They
my-
look so good on a motorcycle. It's like, man, it's like art.
That can be something we can talk about. When you talk to RJ and Bailey, you have to talk style. They had so much damn style,
And they were very
off the bike.
different.
Yeah, they were
yeah,
very
even
different.
off the bike.
Off the
their
bike.
style.
here's my first 1 year anniversary.
far
toast.
ball swig, boy.
Fireball.
He's going for a far ball
You know what?
swig.
I haven't had a swig of that. All right, get in there.
Well, I
son.
wish I would have had a swig left, but a man just goes up there and downs it. You come to a basement bar and you think, well, I'll have some Fireball.
But no, he just gonna go chug
no,
a chug
my
a chug.
goddamn
Like
meat
damn
bag.
Thomas the Train over here. Chug
This,
chug
is gonna go,
chug.
this show's gonna go real far south when we
It's
just
gonna
sit,
get
Kevin's
so
like,
wrong.
we're getting hammered.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to stay.
just sitting at the bar.
Trying to stay coherent, guys.
I am because I don't.
Guys, I want to be
I do
coherent.
not like when I get
Could we
beyond
hire-
the point. I
could we
sound
get-
dumb. I'm not.
No,
a fan of
I
it.
don't think you do. Those are
Can-
some epic.
When we move this show to the bar, can we hire a bartender?
Yeah, she's from Nashville.
Yeah, Kevin, you still got her number?
She wears out. She goes through some goddamn
Sweatshirts.
hoodies.
She burned through them.
She'll
I know
burn
she-
holes
She
in
whole
ate
there.
our
area right
t-shirt,
here.
but our t-shirt budget.
What's our
went to-
t-shirt budget, Nick?
I had-
We're going to triple layer them things.
Yes.
Maybe we hang a patch of wire mesh on the front right there.
We need
Grind
a
them-
new sponsor, Nipple Skins.
Nipple skin.
Yes.
She could help us secure that.
If I had,
We've been in
nipple
big
skins,
So we are
talks with
7
nipple
minutes
skins.
away from
I
MC.
wouldn't have a bloody nipple right now.
I'm just so nervous.
So we can talk style.
That's a
the dude
drink.
was so damn stylish. He can speak to Jet style and how cool, you know.
Well, and Josh
and
Grant kind
BMX
of
and
laughed at
Josh
me when I
Grant.
said, "Did BMX influence your style?"
Yeah, I
It
don't understand how
has
he.
to.
You have to be smooth. You can't bulldog a bicycle.
You're not
You can't
gonna
just
be
come up
casing
short and
jumps,
bam
yes.
and still power through. You're not. What's his name? Greg Hill? Not Greg Hill. Who's the big dude?
Stu Thompson,
No, even bigger. than
Gary Ellis,
him.
the lumberjack.
Gary Ellis.
Gary Ellis
ra-
was a big dude.
Mike Honcho.
Stu Thompson. Let's say Gary Ellis, Greg Hill.
Mike Honcho.
What you talking 80s, right?
Sean Texas.
Sean Texas, big old dude,
Just
full
huge
muscle.
size. That's probably what made Jared quit BMX. Pull like Jared always thought, let's freaking pull, bro.
But that was a Shan Hatfield
Yeah.
quote.
You got to
Like,
pull that. And
bro.
Jared would always.
But
Jared
That's
the
a
always,
full
thing,
pull.
I think BMX also had a steroid era too, man. Because you talk about there was a time.
you dude,
Freaking
explosive
insanely
power.
powerful.
Yes.
MC could probably talk
And
to
these
that.
dudes were jacked. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you
Yes.
see those BMX
They're like
guys and
Olympic
like,
sprinters,
And they should be sort of lean, right? They're full cardio events.
Yeah.
but it's
Where's
a
all
perfect
this muscle
combination. But
coming
it has to be
from?
explosive power. as
Well,
you-
you think about your 100-meter guys and your 200-meter
they're
guys.
huge. They look like
And runners. They're,
running
they're-
backs.
They're
jacked,
stronger
too,
than
yeah.
the long distance guys. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, they're pretty
dude.
big.
Props to Jared. This is our 1 year show, and Jared was a part of this show. The first few
And he
episodes.
would have been here tonight, but
it was
MC was a very last
minute ad. So we wanted to, we're going to get Jared back down here. He definitely want him to be here. But and speaking of Jared, like he had such cool vision, and the fact that he's doing his mountain bike park now, and he came out to our place and built a
Full
legit
BMX track.
It was a BMX track, but it was like the new version of BMX. Remember, it was big, huge.
Oh, it went
huge,
from
huge
you
air.
power down the first straight and,
then
there's
it's
3 jumps
drop.
to it's basically a full on supercross track.
That's what he wanted. He didn't
That
want,
was a transition
He goes,
period.
I don't want to get beat by a guy with big legs.
Yeah.
I want to get beat by a guy that won't
That can ride
won't
like
huck this
crazy.
triple or
Yeah.
won't do what I'm about to do. Because Jared loves, and that translates into his park. Like his park is dope, and
Yeah.
he's getting it now. Like he's coming up with some stuff for older dudes and
Well,
cross country stuff. But anyway, that's
For a
he's-
minute, I thought that we were going to have the show on Wednesday or Thursday, right? So there are guys traveling from Florida, like middle Florida or South Florida, just to go to Jared's park.
yeah.
Like it's proving that he's having a major influence on the whole
Yeah.
region
I mean,
because this park is sculpted.
it is beautiful.
It is
Look it up. It's called
beautifully.
Jared's Place. He's got an Instagram account. He's got his website. And
Might
all-
get into a long night talk of what happened today on his Instagram page.
It's dope. Yeah. Jared's bathtub
He's a
talks.
character, dude.
He's a stand-up comedian.
Candles rolling in
Yes,
the
that
background.
was
Jared's
awesome.
like, "Hey guys."
So by trade, he's
sitting in a bathtub.
he's a stand-up comedian. He's funny as shit, and that you see that in some of his posts. He's super reserved. Like if you met him, you'd be like, "That guy's a stand-up comedian," because he's
because
just
he
chill.
just stands there, just
Yeah.
normal old little
Yeah,
redneck
but
dude.
We're sit down moose knuckle comedians.
yes, and he is
that's
a
why
stand-up.
Oh,
we have a pillow.
We're not standing.
But his place is dope, and it's the first shuttle park in Georgia. He's got more elevation than
Yeah,
North
so-
Carolina, Canagua, or whatever you call it.
Canuga.
Canuga.
So and
It's legit.
Windrock
It's
is a
legit.
shuttle park. Jared really is the first shuttle park in Georgia, and he kept calling me, going, "Hey man, I got to pave these roads." And at the time, I had 6 tandem dump trucks that only hauled asphalt, and I'm like, "We can't get up there, Jared.
Right.
That's freaking
You know,
steep."
he
man.
got it done though. He's getting it done, or it's
Well,
happening
he
slowly.
had to sit there and carry the asphalt bucket by bucket with a tractor.
Wow.
And then slick it all down and roll it in with a smooth drum roller. And I'm just like, this is a job, Jared.
Yep.
And dude, they don't care.
They don't care.
This is what
they
he
carpeted.
wants.
They've got one line carpeted, a
It's
full
freaking
downhill carpeted.
sweet, I know.
They did a Halloween ride where they did the entire downhill, one of the tons of different loops, full string lights.
Yes.
The whole thing was lit at night. They had a Halloween light. Like, it's freaking dope.
Jared
It is
doesn't hold back when it comes to this.
Speaking of dope and string lights and
Smoking
sensitive events,
dope.
Smoking high, smoking
We
marijuana sticks.
are in the process for anybody listening that may have the best dope spot for this, but we're in the process of coming up with our first annual 3-piece suit motocross
Yes.
/ nighttime possible hill climb / gonna have a band karaoke and
Yeah.
Everything, and we've established
Hey.
it's going to be for charity.
Yes. Are you okay with if it ends up having some karaoke? Are you going to sit in the bunker and
are you willing to share
no
your
karaoke
we'll
allowed.
pipe carrot? We'll pipe Kevin's voice in from the camper.
Like, I'm wondering, like, if we do a Saturday, Sunday, is that enough? Is that enough to get all the fun in? Like, I feel like you got to roll in on Friday. If you want to, you don't have to. You can do whatever part of this you want, but I think us three have to at least, we'll just do our own pre-party Friday.
And
Okay.
to be clear for everybody listening, to race, you have to be wearing.
You have to wear a suit.
I'm not,
suit.
I've already, remember,
And tie. You gotta have a
and
tie.
a tie.
suit and tie. We will have a coat check. So if you come in and you don't have one, you're buying
You're
one.
going to buy one.
I will
because we
have,
have
I
a
promise
rack.
you, I will have a rack. I'm not kidding. We'll go to thrift store.
D&K.
It doesn't have to be super nice.
No, just thrift store
But
junk.
it just
can
has
be
to,
crap.
yeah, it could be thrift.
Please,
it can
the
be
worse the
wild
better.
colored
It could be
suits. It could be anything.
Miami Vice with a thin tie, leather
Whatever.
tie.
We
You can-
do have a couple of tables still available in the turn for some romantic dinners.
Yes. 3-piece
Isaac
suit.
the waiter. Will
That's
take
the
care
whole
of you.
the whole deal. It's going to be 3-piece suit motocross, and I stole it from 3-piece suit football here in Atlanta, which is a charity football event. They all play in 3-piece suits, so we're going to do 3-piece suit motocross. We'll name the classes like CEO, vice president, have all of it.
I think I'm
It'll
just
be a
gonna
fun
wear-
thing.
I think I'm just gonna wear a tux.
I'm racing in
tux.
Bob for
I
a
got
county.
a tux. I'm
A
just
powder
gonna wear
blue tux,
Tux is fine.
whatever.
Powder blue tux would be.
But
Our
I-
staff will all wear it.
I'll have
Everybody
a
there
gear
will have a
change,
suit
though.
on. I promise you,
You
you're
will
not.
check in with a dude with a monocle.
You're not. Yes, you're not coming in without a suit. Just don't come. Don't because that's the deal. It's for
Come
charity.
up. This is a formal event, sir.
It's very classy.
Yes, it's a country club.
So after that, I don't have a clue in terms of the event. I've already reached out to Jeremy at Red Bull to like kind of pick his brain about, hey, this is an event I'm doing. Like, do you see a team race, multiple classes, or more of a vintage, or more of enduro, a GP? I don't know yet. We'll all hash that
All
out
right,
together. So
okay, so we
if
gotta
it's
say
enduro,
something.
Nick's
If
already
it's-
won it.
Well,
that's not cool.
He can
man.
ride in the woods,
I
dog.
don't know. We got
here's the thing. If
7
it's-
o'clock, boys.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be 3-piece. It's gonna be suit or formal. Because what if
Okay.
I wanted to wear a wedding dress like Dennis Rodman?
It's formal.
It's a very formal event.
Just wear a suit,
Hey, wouldn't
wear a
that be
dress.
awesome to have all your suitors?
Flaggers. Everybody's
and you
wearing.
would be the one in the bride.
Ricky Wilson or Ricky the Flagger is going to
Ricky
have a suit.
Wilson. Get out of here. Ricky in a suit.
Everybody there, concession lady making burgers, will wear some sort
Do
of
we have a
formal
way to
wear.
get in touch with Stan if we're gonna have flaggers?
Stan
I want-
Hightower.
I
We
want
can.
Stan to be a flagger.
Stan can totally do it.
I want him to be
I
a
saw him
flagger.
at Atlanta Supercross last year. Stan
Yeah.
Hightower.
Stan the dope man
Anyway.
shooting dope. Don't know the meaning of water nor soap. See, if I didn't have my pillow right now, y'all be
Y'all ready to call
looking
Jeremy
at me. I
McGrath?
just changed my
It's
position,
time.
guys.
It's time for our 1-year anniversary show.
Call him and just say,
I feel like-
Jeremy. This is-
Jeremy.
this is
This Jeremy?
Richard from
Yes, this
Scandals.
Jeremy. How you doing, Jeremy? I'm good. Okay, thanks.
All right, man. It's good talking to
Good
you.
talking to you.
Nick's got a jersey. You already signed it though, so we don't need nothing else. and
here
we
we go.
appreciate you.
Don't
and
talk
this is
over
our
Jer-
first attempt.
You ready?
With a corded
Yes.
phone.
All you folks, I made it happen.
All you people mad about
yeah.
Kevin having a disconnect.
So we don't have to worry about Bluetooth. How about that?
walk into the
I need a
bathroom.
fireball.
He needs fireball. A man gets nervous when Jeremy calls.
No, I am stressed.
Oh, look at me. Okay,
Stressed.
Working.
guys, we got to be professional.
It's not working.
Stop it, Kevin.
Why is it?
I swear to you. Oh, you got the volume down. Hello, Jeremy.
No.
Kevin just waits till it's
Why
run
is it
60
doing this?
times to talk to Jeremy and turn the volume up.
Hold on. Let me see if I can.
Hannah
For
goes.
anybody waiting to watch, I brought my
Hold on. Sorry.
Chaparral Yamaha.
Jeremy.
Yamaha.
Yo.
All right.
Yo.
Jesus, man. Welcome to Winners Take Y'all, the dumbest show you've ever been on. So don't tell anybody you were on it. Let's just go ahead and get that out there.
Yeah, we'll minimize that.
Take all.
Winners
Y'all.
take no y'all.
Oh, winners take y'all. Okay.
Yeah, we're from Georgia,
Yeah.
man.
See what we did?
This show might be slowing me down.
It's definitely slowing
Yeah,
you
we
down.
are slow to begin with. Well, dude, welcome to the show. I know you have no idea who we are, what we do. I think you and I have met a bunch of times at Mammoth.
What do you mean you think? Yeah, right.
That's about it.
Okay.
That is it. So Mammoth, that's we dated a few times on the podium at Mammoth. Things didn't kind of go so well, so whatever.
Dude, last year at the vet race, remember when I won and beat that dude? I was battling with him, and his wife was over there like chirping.
I do remember that.
Not
So
good.
funny. I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell is wrong with this chick?
Settle down, man.
Because I beat her.
Yeah, it's like-
Oh, she got upset?
Patrick Mahomes' wife is
Yeah,
over
well, I
there.
raced the 40 class, and I won the 40 class, and he's in the 40 class. So anyway,
That was
she
my man's class, and you just smoked him.
Like, what do you want me to do, lady?
She's upset of it. Yeah, I guess.
Jeremy's like, I spotted you 12 years, guy. So what do you?
Sorry about your
Look,
luck,
the
sir.
same thing happened in the
Yeah,
other.
what else do you want, dude?
Yeah, ride one-legged or whatever. Like you did that. I think on that 125 or 500 or something. They're like I'll ride a 125.
I gave
next
you
year.
30 years on a
What do you want me to
motorcycle,
do?
sir. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'll spot you 30 pounds in 30 years and 100, whatever, 30 horsepower.
The funny
Yes.
thing is, I have no idea who this guy was, but his wife's not much of a moto fan.
Apparently not.
She's like, man, that dude,
Some guy over
some
there.
guy.
Like, geez, ladies, chill out,
Like,
settle down. Like, it's so rare. Like, I always equate this. Like, when you show up to Mammoth, I'm like, there's really not many sports where, like, the men's league softball, and then you get to throw an AB against Alex Rodriguez. I'm like, you don't get
Yeah.
to do that very often,
Doesn't
man.
happen.
Embrace it. It's pretty damn cool, guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's always strange, right? With me, just because of that, like the target thing is always just like, I mean, for whatever reason, still people think that they just have a shot at the title, and it's like,
Man, if I beat
okay,
him,
whatever, I get it. You're 40 and you're going through a midlife crisis. And you're decent on a dirt bike, but now you're racing a gray-haired old man. And you're still thinking of it's like we're all 20 years old and stuff. It's like, what?
yeah, if I beat this guy,
That's just hilarious that his wife was like, God, I can't believe that Jeremy McGrath.
that jerk.
Hey, she went home and they're on the way home and she's like, can't believe you let that dude beat you. And he's
That
like,
dude.
he's like,
See, that old man
dude.
beat you. Good
he's
Lord.
like, he's like, shut up,
Yeah,
bitch. That was
I
Jeremy
know.
McGrath.
He's like, yeah, I don't know.
They got a divorce this year. He's gonna be by himself. He's like,
whatever. I was dying.
he's gonna
Creating
be,
a
I
lot
trained
of
for like
divorces,
2
man.
weeks, and he's been training all year.
he's gonna
He's got a poster of you. He's been just on the treadmill, just your face the whole time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
he's
come
gonna
on,
come in this year and be like, man, my wife divorced me because McGrath beat me last year.
Hey, so we had
So
Bob
anyway,
Hanna on.
What else happened?
Well,
what's going on?
well, this is our 1 year anniversary show. So I did DMXS. We were the first ever podcast. We were stupid enough to try this in 01 before they were even a podcast. And then I've kind of added a couple of buddies of mine to join in with me on the fun here. And we started a new one called Winners Take Y'all. Play on words. We're from the South, blah, blah, blah. But we had Bob Hanna on 2 weeks ago. And we were talking BMX. And I knew Bob raced BMX, but like Bob was into BMX. He was probably the first guy to get show up money. He was
He
offered
got show up money in 1974.
$5.
$5 show up fee paid as long as you race to Robert Hanna. We saw the flyer.
Yeah, it says Bob Hanna was
Western
Really?
California State Championship.
75, Lou. This is like before
Do you
he's
remember the name of that track? One was called Bums and one was called hang on, I'll pull up the flyer.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait, so, I mean, what $5 was probably the entry fee or something? Maybe I don't know. Maybe
It was
$1.
said you were paid $5.
you got
as
in
long
for
as you
free
show up
and then he
race.
paid you $5 and you probably won a little bit of money. So you might walk away with about $11
Freaking hate.
of 75 money.
And that was almost his $15 budget for the month of food.
Yeah, he talked
Bob
about
said
that.
he spent $15 a month to eat.
He set a budget for himself, $1,500.
No,
$15?
$15. Yes,
$15.
$15.
That's when you could fill your car for like $4.99.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
The whole thing. Fill the car up in gas tank.
You could buy your car for $600 probably.
True.
Actually, he didn't have a car at the time.
Yeah, that's right. He got
didn't?
Nah.
Yeah, there was a point he almost quit motorcycling, but then a guy offered him, or he did good at a race, and then he decided to go buy a bike, and he had no car. He said, I'll be up there to get this bike. I got to get a ride up there. And that was like, he goes, I was going to split left or right. I was either going to do it or not do it. And I'm like, whoa. He was in a phone booth where he decided to be the Hurricane, which is crazy to
Phone
think.
booth.
Where,
And
how
he
that-
came out like with a Superman
yes, he
costume.
pulled,
on.
yes, exactly.
That's hilarious.
That's so funny, right? Because even, I mean, the old adage is you're not good at something because of the money, but back then there was just no money pretty much at all anyway. So it's funny because when you make those kind of decisions to go full bore moto and there's really nothing involved in it at that point. I mean, it was close. He made it better and got it to where he can make a living at it and stuff. But I'm sure when he started, it wasn't much. So that's pretty cool that, I love listening to Bob Hanna stories.
Dude.
I like that guy so much. He's so cool.
We were kind of blown away. So his first contract for late 75 into 76, which ended up being a championship year, whatever his salary was, he goes, hey, just give me like $250 a month and defer the salary part that's in this contract for 10 years at 10% interest. You know, he's like 18, 19 years
Like,
old.
who does that? He goes, and because what got us there, we were talking about riders and agents. He goes, dude, I was a businessman at age 18. I told them, push this contract back, defer it 10 years, pay me later on, give me a little bit of money now. And he goes, at one point at the end of his career, he was getting 3 different salaries from Honda, Suzuki, and Yamaha all at the same time because they all got deferred with 10% interest. And he was like really doing well at that point, which is just crazy to have that kind of foresight.
Well, I mean, that's one way to keep you hungry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he allowed
that's
himself
true.
to stay
Yeah.
poor.
I
Let's
mean,
stay
you don't
poor.
have, if you don't have any money,
Yeah.
and you're just not going to get that for a while, so you might as well just.
He did get the
might as
win
well
bonuses.
Go fast and make more.
Yeah, he said he got a little bit of win bonus money, and that he was no nonsense. Like when you hear him talk about that when he had to go back to ride that 125 for Suzuki in '87, he was like, I did not want to do that. I was years from a 125 ride. I've been doing 250s for years.
11 years
Yeah.
post title.
And then he goes, all right, I'll do it. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to pay me this amount. You're sending me 2 factory bikes. Send one to Europe. Leave me one here. I don't want to talk to you. Don't mess with me. I ain't training with nobody. This is how I'm going to do
He
it.
said Wardy and RJ wanted to play tiddlywinks, and he wasn't down with that.
No, didn't he win Unadilla?
Yes,
Thing?
that was the
He
one.
did, yes.
He goes, I went for
Yeah.
a month in Idaho. I did my thing, showed up.
Ran 8,000 feet or 3,500 feet. I can't remember the number, but climbed this 12-mile trail every day for 21 days straight.
And just, that's Bob Hanna. Whooped ass.
And then came out and whooped ass.
Yeah. Coolest
Yeah,
story.
that's pretty sweet. I love how, like, he has such an awesome recollection of all that stuff. You know, so cool.
Yeah,
He
some
really
guys
does.
we talk to, like Bradshaw, does not remember much at all. And he'll tell you, Weege talks about it. And he's like, yeah, he just doesn't. Like, but then you get into guys like Bailey. Bailey goes, yeah, I was running
Third lap,
I was a
like
1352
51
rear
degrees.
sprocket at Daytona. I changed to a whatever. I'm like, how do you? And he can tell you that about every race he announced. And
Yeah.
the dude's a nut job when it comes to that.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Hannah spent a long time, Jeremy, talking about these downhill BMX tracks that were
Yeah.
like early on. He goes, I could beat anybody if it was a downhill track, and he hated what a modern day BMX track is. He's like, these little tracks and these fields, these flat
Well,
fields.
that's Bob. He hated modern Supercross too, and it's just how
Yes.
it just didn't fit his.
They're similar.
whatever, and it's just funny. Like he was talking about the Frogtown. I think you just did it. Not isn't that right? Frogtown didn't you just do
Yeah,
that?
I did Frogtown Classic last year. Yeah.
It looks awesome. Like I think it's cool as shit. Bob's like not a fan. Like he was, I ain't pedaling for that. I just want to jump shit and go wild.
go
Like, you-
wide open.
which is
Yeah,
Bob.
Yeah.
So you did a BMX race here recently, right?
I did another one. Yeah, this other one called the Dirty Fest, which was at Vail Lake in Temecula, and that one was That one was even more pedaling than the Frogtown one, and it was a gas. I had a blast. I went. There was 8 divisions of guys in my class,
God.
and I went.
Dang.
I rode 2 motos on Saturday, and I went 2-2. And the class I was racing was called this. I don't know what they call it, recast or some shit like that, and it was a basically new BMX bike, but a bigger version, so like on a 26-inch wheel.
Got you.
And this kid that was racing with us, Eric Carter, who's a legendary
Yep.
BMX guy, his son Ethan Carter was in our moto,
Oh shit.
and he won both motos, and I got second. But yeah, it was fun, man. I had a blast. I still love riding my BMX bike when I can, and try to go to these little pump tracks. You know, they're kind of popping up all over now. I have a blast doing that.
We have one here.
Yeah, we do.
Down the street.
John is John's very in tune with BMX. He was good buddies with our friend Jared, who owns Jared's place, which is the first shuttle park in Georgia, and he was super tight with Shan and all your crew from
Yeah,
on this.
Shan Hatfield.
Yeah, John's super
Oh, nice.
buds with them too.
Yep. And I think Shan went
Yeah.
to that race, right?
Who?
Shan Hatfield
Oh, Shan was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shan and Margie and their
and
dad.
Joe. Yeah, his dad's Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, man. I mean, that's like a full-on reunion race.
Oh man, I was so pumped. I was actually in like a kid in a candy store because when I was racing BMX, I was pretty young. I was a factory rider when I was a little kid and all this stuff. But like all the guys that you used to see on the magazines were there on the cover of BMX Plus and BMX Action and all that shit. I mean, they were all there. It was cool. And they all like love to talk to me now for my Supercross stuff. And so it's kind of but I'm still looking at them like,
That's
whoa,
a guy.
that's Gary Ellis.
Yeah.
There's Tommy Brackens,
Yeah,
who I
the
was
human
good friends with
dragster.
Tommy Brackens, but there's Stu Thompson, there's
Greg
Gary
Hill.
Ellis, there's Greg Hill. I mean, they're who was there? Ronnie Anderson was there.
Yeah.
Freaking dude, it was like the who's who of BMX studs. And man, I just ate it up. I love it.
It's so awesome that you fanboy out about something like that. You know what I mean? When you've got so many millions of people that fanboy out about your stuff, and their wives get pissed when they lose to you. But
exactly.
Was that guy there? Like, I've been training for this race too. I will beat you everywhere.
I'm like, he's just trailing
Jesus,
Jeremy
man, this guy
everywhere.
shows up everywhere. I'm at a 5K. This motherfucker lines up next to me.
It's a 5K.
I can't drop this
Hey,
guy. It's a
you know,
charity
you,
event,
you know,
man.
you see him, you start a 5K and you see his wife
just
100
hear the
yards.
wife.
She's like 100 yards out from the
Oh,
start. just
God,
sitting there,
she's
you're
here
like,
again.
oh, shit. Hey, where's this
Yeah.
dude at?
Hey, let's we'll change gears a little bit. I wanted to touch on BMX because it's obviously I grew up. I had a DG bike and my dad ran over it, and that's the saddest part of my life. He
That
backed
is a
over it
terrible
in a
thing.
trailer. That frame is worth $3,000.
Yeah, DG bikes are
Makes me want to throw
really
up. I love that bike.
collectible.
So,
Dude, at the Frogtown, they have an auction. At Dirty Fest, they have a crazy auction, and there's like old school OG BMX shit there, dude. And like your old bike DG frame, DG stuff would be so expensive.
Yeah.
I have some really cool old shit too, and it's worth a lot of money. I don't try to sell anything, but I try to look at it all, man. And I just like such a fan of all that old stuff. It's funny.
It's funny how you can just get lost walking around looking at it.
well,
right?
it's just magazines. Like whenever I remember ordering a set of grips and a Viscount seat and a laid back seat post. I was like, I cannot wait to get this thing in the
Gonna be
mail.
bad to the bone.
And I've sucked. It didn't matter, but I thought I am the coolest dude on the planet
you're
right
the
now.
Shiz whiz, dude.
Dude.
The layback seat post.
I was a man. They had some
Laid back
Sugino
seat.
3-piece. Get some. You want some of this?
Sagino cranks.
What?
Tour bear traps or something.
That's
Yeah,
it.
100%, man, right there.
Well, let's talk style, dude, because your style still, like your stuff has still transcended. Like you could get on a bike. When I watch vet riders, I love watching Billy Lyles haul ass on a bike, but Billy Lyles looks like a very wild and crazy
European
man.
novice.
Very European, should be in some M. Robert gear.
Novice.
But he hauls ass. It's scary how he hauls ass. But then you see MC, I'm like, oh, dang, dude, this dude's
It's
still
a timeless.
And I get to see him every
style.
year at Mammoth, which is I love watching you ride with the boys and get out there and throw down some heaters. I'm like, all right, if you had to throw down a one lap, you can still do it and still look bitching. So that makes me think about Jet. Like, what do you think, or what do you see when you see Jet Lawrence ride? Like, it's pretty fucking cool to watch that dude ride too.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I appreciate all the comments. That was cool. I mean, no, look, I was always into style and the way I was supposed to look out there. And I mean, technique is you try to be technically right, and then you mix in the gear and all the rest of the shit. But anyway, I like watching modern Supercross. Jet Lawrence is, in my mind, he's not doing a stuff a lot different than I did it. He's just doing it faster. Obviously it's a new style day, but his style, the way he hops around on the bike and jumps stuff and does all that, I think I was doing a lot of that really, compared to the other riders back then, jumping stuff they weren't jumping, finding ways to, jump into berms and just kind of using little bumps to jump over stuff. I don't know. It's really fun to watch. Really fun to watch. I mean, his style is killer.
Yeah, Anderson even said that. He goes, we're all kind of hauling ass. Like it was in a press conference last year. I remember they were all still just googling over
Google eyes, yeah.
Yeah, over him. And he's like, yeah, we're all kind of doing that. We're not crazy off. Like it's not like he's throwing 108 mile an hour fastball and ours sitting at 92. So we're all whatever. So and you're way up on the front of the bike, and I think your style is still like that's why it transcends back. It looks proper now because he's way on the front of the bike too. So you're right. He looks light on the bike for sure, hopping around.
And that was the thing when you came along. People didn't like you did have a different style that looked good, and people, it didn't catch up. And not that we're, said you appreciate the comments. We were talking before you got on you not to pump you up or kiss you, but I said Jeremy was like Mike Tyson. And I don't know if you ever heard that. Like, you retired people when you came in with a fresh style. You know what I mean? I mean, you did.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you retired some people's favorite rider. Like, it was like you just knocked them out like Michael Spinks. You know what I mean? And
That's
they
a
were
good run, Jeff
Them
Stanton.
dudes just, they just quit when you came along.
I mean, you probably got them out earlier too. Like, this dude's going to be around a minute.
Yeah.
I think Jet's going to do the same thing to a bunch of these dudes now. It's kind of a similar deal to when you came along.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, I think it's, I came in with the BMX, sort of the new school style, right? I mean, I'm just, as an example, in 90, you remember seeing that like super badass supercross with Guy Cooper, Jeff Ward, Rick Johnson, Jeff Stanton, Chicken, like everyone was in the lead of that one race. I mean, it was like, I forget what race that was.
Is it 90 Atlanta?
Might have been Atlanta because there's
90
five,
Atlanta.
five
90
people led
Atlanta,
that.
yeah.
90
Yes.
Atlanta.
Yeah. And then Wardy ended up
Jesus.
winning, I think. Or
That
something.
was a good
He did
one.
3
Yes.
fist pumps.
3 fist pumps. That's it, dude.
Yeah. But do you remember them hitting all the jumps? How high they were going?
Yes.
Like, I mean, Cooper was just
Air
sending
time.
high, going so high. And, but basically they were all kind of doing that. So the sport was sort of primed for a little bit of a change. And then I brought the BMX style in there, and it really wasn't like, hey, I'm trying to change the sport of Supercross. It's just, I brought in a new style that I learned, and it was like heads and shoulders faster
Effective.
and totally different. And yeah, it basically retired that group of guys, right? Because they're like, shit, we can't keep up with that. And then it took the newest group that I was racing with 2, 3, seasons, 4 maybe, to try to even figure out what the style was and try to copy it.
Yeah.
And no one really accomplished that too good. And I pretty much survived that one pretty good. Like, my style stood pretty heavy, long for a good 8 seasons, maybe, and then you had like, I'm getting up to 28, 29, 30 years old. And then you got, Vuillemin came in and showed a little bit of speed. Wyndham was fast. He came in and showed a little speed, but couldn't figure out how to get it done right away as a kid on factory Yamaha. And then Carmichael came in now. So I like to say Bradshaw was one of my heroes, but I also like to say that I've retired Bradshaw twice.
Right.
So that's always kind of fun for me to say. Stanton for sure. But I went through like the 90s, sort of early 90s generation guys, they all retired. Then I went through my own group and they all retired. Lusk, Emig, Henry, all the rest of the guys that I raced, Damon Huffman, Ryan Hughes, all these guys that I raced against. So they all retired. Then I'm still going. Then I got the new group, Vuillemin, I guess Carmichael finally came in.
Yep.
And it took Carmichael 3 seasons and, some crazy strategy to try to figure out how to beat me too. So I beat him for 3 seasons or 2.5 seasons before he beat me. Still pretty unheard of.
For sure.
But what Jet's doing right now is sort of the same thing. I don't really look at the Super Motocross thing where he was undefeated last year. I mean, nobody was in there anyway, so I don't really look at that as much. But he, as good as he is, he knows it's not that easy. He only has 6 wins or whatever it is this year. Just got a 7.
That's right.
Still, it's a lot of race wins, but I think I won. I think I won 10 in my first year. So, what he's doing is pretty darn amazing. I like watching it. I'm a fan for sure.
We were talking about earlier, and you may think this is funny, like we did when you came to the 250s, and you've been a good 125 rider, but back then we didn't have the internet, so we didn't. It wasn't like you were in the forefront of our minds and everything we were seeing because we were so starved for information. You know what I mean? Like, we'd have to wait a week.
You were waiting for Cycle News on Thursday.
Yeah, so we
dude.
were waiting on that to come out, this, that, and the other. So you reel off, like the first 3 or 4 wins that you reel off.
Wait a minute.
And we're
Who
like,
is this
hey,
guy?
who is this kid?
Sinisalo,
Who's he
what the
think-
hell, Jeff
yeah,
Ward?
Who's he think he is?
What the Jeff Ward hell's
And then
going
you
on
just
here?
dominated.
Jeff Ward, hell.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I mean, I mean, I was even amazed by it, to be honest. I mean, it's really weird. It's a weird thing when you when you go up and you get fast enough, and then you're like trying to beat your heroes, and then you actually do beat them. It just seems like,
What?
or at least for me, it was so strange. I was like, what the hell is going on here? This is crazy. And then it was like, oh, well, this is not really that hard. At least at that point, it wasn't. So I was like, okay, well, shit, I can keep doing this. It's not too bad. But it is a strange feeling because you're just like the guys you looked up to for so long, and then you're just all of a sudden there and you're beating them. So yeah, it was an interesting time. I was still so new to the sport. Just like you guys, I was loving all the information I could get, and cycle news, and then what David Despain and Larry Myers with Moto World on Tuesday night at 11:30 p.m. or some shit like that.
So yeah, let's talk about that. So that's happening. You're winning. I know. Like if it were me, I'd dork out and be like, "Oh, shh, I'm on Motor World. I know I'm going to be on. I want to
be on Motor
Dave
World."
Despain's got to talk about me. So tell me. I'm sure you watched it and enjoyed the hell out of that, right? Did you hit record? Did you have your DVR set to record?
DVR, nothing.
Yeah,
It was a VHS.
my mom for sure did.
Yeah, DVR, Kevin.
No, I mean like
This is VHS, Holmes.
I know, but like it was crazy to record the.
Back then, you got to like have a tape ready, and that's on. Hit record.
Hit record.
You had to put record and play at the same
Well,
time.
Yes, you had to do
we had
something.
a digital VCR. You could time that thing, and if the power went
Yeah,
out,
if you were
it
smart enough.
I
We had to
know.
put black tape
I
over the
know.
blinking clock.
Jeez, we're dating ourselves. I'm as old as you are. I might be a year younger than you, but yeah, we're all right there. So we all kind of did the same thing. So tell me, so you watched it like you were out of school by that time, I'm guessing, and like kind of doing your thing.
Yeah, I graduated high school in '89, so I was out of school. But yeah, I mean, I was always, I didn't really get too interested. I love cycle news. I used to love it because I used to see the pictures and read and all that. But as far as the Motor World thing goes, I mean, I was geeking out over Larry Myers and Dave Despain and all those guys. You know how badass they were. But I don't know. I really was just still taking it pretty nonchalant. You know what I mean? It was still a little bit weird. Like, couldn't believe I was a factory rider. Then I can't believe I'm winning. Then I can't believe I'm beating all these guys I really love so much. And then all I want to do is just ride my dirt bike. So that's pretty much what I did every day. Yeah.
Did you was there a point when you first lined up for your first, like you were going to ride a 250 and you're like, I'm never going to beat these guys. Like and then all of a sudden I can beat these guys.
Or did you have an idea because you rode with Stanton and the dudes back at the test
There's a
track? Like,
left-hander
I
coming
kind of
up.
got this. I mean,
Jump
I'm
right
riding with them
past
in
him.
practice.
Yeah, I was riding. They had a place called Honda Land back then, pretty
Yep.
famous place where Honda used to have their stuff. And I used to go up there a couple times a week. Stanton used to live there, and I got pretty good on that track. And like in '92, when I was riding 125s and mostly, and then I remember I rode some.
Yep.
I remember I rode some East Coast races.
Sure.
And I was up there practicing on the 250 just as it wasn't even like a factory bike. It was just a pro circuit bike. And I was going faster than Stanton. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it kind of started to give you an idea like, okay, yeah, you can keep up with these guys, no problem. Although, the season that in '92, I raced 4 or 5 East races, and I think I even got like a podium at one of the races, maybe. I didn't finish Daytona because it was raining, and I was like, I don't want to ride in the mud. Fuck this. So I pulled off. And then
Perfect.
And then I led like Tampa for a while, and then I finished third, I think, or I got a podium or something. I think.
Yeah, I think you did get
or something like that.
a third.
Can't
at
really
one of the
remember,
races.
but- And then '93 comes along where I have the factory bike, and so I'm smoking them at the test track now, which is crazy, right? Because Stan was
So
number
wild.
one in '92.
He was a defending champ.
Yeah, and he came out in '93, and I mean, he was leading Anaheim when I passed him for my first win, which was round 3 of the series. And rounds 1 and 2 was like Orlando and Houston, and I finished 4th and 5th.
Yeah.
And Orlando was kind of really not my style of a track. I wasn't really used to that style of track because it was kind of wet and ruddy and stuff, a little bit, and bumpy, and just like I was a California kid, right? I was born on a hard pack. That's what I was born on. And so it took me a lot of years to figure out how to ride the other conditions. But for whatever reason, I didn't have the stuff in the first 2 rounds, but I was still confident. I knew that at the test track, I was faster than these guys. And then come Anaheim, Stanton was leading the race, and I had to pass him for the lead.
Sorry, Jeff.
But yeah, it was a little bit weird.
Man.
That was kind of a weird. I remember that pass like very clearly.
It's like when Cal Norton wins. It's like, man, what do you think if I win? Cal Norton.
Cal Naughton Jr.
Yeah, in Talladega Nights.
Yeah, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So you pass him, and then
I don't know. It was kind of a weird situation. But anyway, once I won, like I really never saw Jeff much that year anymore. I mean, I won 10 races, so there was,
he was
already
behind
12.
you.
So you
2
moved
races
in.
were gone.
You moved into his house, and he's like, "Man, this ain't cool anymore. Like, what's going on, Jeff?"
Yeah, but how do I turn the stereo on and the TV?
I thought it was. I mean, just remembering when I retired, I like the year Carmichael beat me. Like that was like I was number 1, then Carmichael beat me. I finished second, and I was like, no. I'm going to train harder. I'm going to ride harder. I'm whatever. And then I'm going to come out again. And that's when I came out and just didn't really ride that good and had a back injury and the whole thing and finished 3rd in series. But I wanted to fight for it. When I came along and beat Jeff, it didn't seem like he seemed like he was kind of over it. I don't know. He was just like,
right.
It seemed
he
like
rode
all those guys
one
were.
year with the number 1 and then he was done.
Yeah, but you know what though? You were at that track whooping his ass during the week and on the weekends. He's like, yeah, man, I cannot shake this dude. At least, you guys are separate. Maybe you feel like you can you haul ass at your test track. He's at his test track, and y'all meet on Saturdays. Like shit, man.
But
we were together. Yeah, we were together riding.
Dude, and
demoralizing, I guess.
Yeah, every day he's like, oh, there he is again.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're talking about style, and I wanted to key on this, like, because you have this beautiful riding style, and then Ricky comes along and he beats you. I'm like, that dude looks like a you know what I mean? He just
not
looks
necessarily
he's not the most stylish guy.
flawless,
Bars are
yes.
sitting on the
He's like
tank,
a
just whatever.
Tasmanian devil going around.
Just this holy shit on a motorcycle. So it's wild how you would think style wins every time, but not always.
Bike setup and his riding style was not textbook for sure.
Wouldn't we say style won?
But it's just proof that hard work can get you through a lot of that,
For sure.
First of all, he was young. He was fearless.
Yep.
And when the shit hit the fan on the track, he just held the throttle wide open. We know that. And then, he just had the tenacity to make it work.
Ride that ragged edge.
They came up with a strategy on, he would have never, I don't think he would have ever, I don't know, maybe, but I don't think he would ever beat me had he not tried to get in shape, because his style, when he was out of shape, his style wasn't working for him because he would always crash.
Yep.
So it would have been a little bit longer, another year or so, I'd say, or 2 of transitional time. But, when he went that off season and got really in shape and took care of his fitness and came back with some more confidence and I mean, he made it work. He made it work. It was pretty good.
It's nothing to be ashamed of on your part though, because like you said, you were older. And another thing, like you were talking about that was a good observation that you made of Bob Hanna, is that he was still hungry. Well, you had just spent 10 years making more money than anybody ever riding a motorcycle. So it's hard to stay that
perfect
hungry.
storm of
when you're
well,
when you got
what? That's funny. It is true, but I was never ever like not hungry to win. Like I agree. I was doing well and making a lot of money and whatever, but I love winning, dude. It burns me up. It burned me up when I wasn't winning.
Yeah.
So that was frustrating for sure. And, when you're about to retire, I mean, I'm thinking of Eli right now. It's like when you're not winning and you just won for like forever, you're like, dude, this freaking blows. How's this happening? And it's just, it's crazy how father time works,
Dude,
I was still willing to go fast, but just not fast enough. It's weird.
You know, the only worst thing that would be worse than that about not winning, and like Eli, would be if you were like in the 40+ class and you really had a hard ass wife that didn't
Chirping at your ass.
That would suck. That would suck.
Sitting on the podium, raising
Like
them.
as bad as you felt back then when you had to deal with Ricky.
Think about dealing with her. He's
Yeah,
40
you didn't
something.
have her
He's
yelling at
still. Like, what was she like when he was 20? Damn.
Oh, damn.
Hey,
she
so-
wore his ass out.
You know the funny thing here, like it's what Jet is doing. So when you came along, we had multiple winners. There was no this guy is the guy. Forget
Yeah,
about it.
Jeremy was the first to
You were that guy for a long
dominate.
chunk of time. Now Jet's about to come along where we've had Coop, we've had Anderson, we've had Tomac.
Eli,
We had a lot of guys win. So I think we're about to settle back in
Oxen.
to some goddamn
Sexton.
Jeremy Mcgrath
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, I mean, I said the same thing, man. We're about to start a McGrath era, I think. Because honestly, let's talk about that. When you look down the road here, these older guys start to retire, and they can't keep up anymore anyway. So they all start to retire. Who do we see down the pipeline here that's even someone that's remotely can do what he's doing? And I don't see anyone.
Yeah, there's
The
definitely
only
a gap.
one that I see, that I see with potential
I know you're
and is still gaining speed is Kitchens.
Oh, Levi.
He's light on a bike, dude. He is so damn light on a bike. I've noticed
His
that since
technical
Loretta's.
ability, he's super good. And he's really good in the deeper, terrible conditions, right? Because he's from the Northwest here. But last week last race wasn't a very good showing because it crashed into each other and whatever. But I feel like recently he's been gaining some more speed, and like, I don't see anyone in that class, in any of those 250 classes, that even RJ Hampshire, who's, won last week and whatever. I mean, no one really in that class is gaining a bunch of speed enough where we can see like, oh, maybe in the future that guy could compete with Jet. I don't know. For me, I'm not seeing anyone.
Yeah.
So
Settle in.
yeah,
folks.
we could be
Feels like there's a
into
gap.
we could be into a McGrath era here. Yeah.
Which is awesome that you have an era.
Yeah, there's not many people
Yeah.
saying
Let's settle into the
And
Kevin.
those guys, those riders don't like to hear that word. They don't like
Nope.
to hear that.
No.
That's a big number too. 72. Come
Yeah, good
Take a
luck
shot.
on that, buddy. That's
no,
gonna
and
be
I'm
tough.
and I
Think
mean,
about all the winning Tomac has done.
it's a long way to go.
Yeah.
He still has a
Yeah.
long way to go.
The cool thing was that, it was cool when you probably felt it. Well, yeah, maybe you didn't because you were always winning, but we were talking about, you got some hate after a while because everybody was like, damn,
God dang, Jeremy's just going to take off and leave.
Jeremy's going to win again. You know what I mean?
I know you love that shit. I know you love seeing the frustration on them because they would even say it. They're like, somebody has to get in there and shake this guy up. Like on the broadcast, they would say these things like somebody has to rattle him. Like they were cheering for someone to shake things
To break
up.
Jeremy. Yeah, there was this
No.
long period of
Whole shot, see you later, checker flag.
but
suck
there
it.
was this long period of fans like, oh my God, he just beat all the massive factory stars. And then it was, oh my God, he's going to win. Why? My wife even would say,
Oh well, he
why
got the
are
whole
you gonna
shot.
watch
That was a good
this?
race. Like the race would start, and I'd be like, "Well, that was a good race."
Jeremy, my wife said for 5 years, why do you even watch this? And
His
then-
wife even knew.
Yeah,
That's funny.
and then
Yeah.
I can remember being frustrated, like Jeremy's, God, he's just going to win everything. But then it was like,
This dude's
man,
so
how
damn
long
good.
can he win? Like
Let's-
he
let's
might.
see.
Let's tune in because let's see if Jeremy can.
Yeah,
keep
it all turned
freaking
around. Like
winning.
you're so good at like the crowd. I bought,
Everyone got real happy when I left Team Honda. They're like, oh, all right, here we go.
It's
chops.
over. Get
Their
on that
chops,
Suzuki, bitch.
licking
Let's
them
go.
chops.
Yeah. Ride that thing. See how that treats you.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, Greg Alberton. Damn. Or, no, who took you out first turn? Your old teammate, Lamson, right?
Lamson, yeah. That was a Team Honda. Like, what, Bounty.
Yeah, the bounty.
Did you
All in
say-
your
He
head.
said it. He said it wasn't, but I think it was.
Yeah, felt like it, right?
Finish him.
Sweep the knee, Johnny.
Hey, that's why the knack was good, right? I mean, everyone's like, oh, shit, he's winning again. All right, well, cool. At least we're going to maybe see a knack.
Hey, let me tell you a funny story about that. The first time And I don't know if it's the first time you did it at a race.
It was
but
when I saw it. I was there in Orlando.
Kevin and I were at Orlando.
This dude's jumping off his bike. What
and
the
we were
fuck is he
sitting-
doing?
Yeah.
Seriously,
And
I was like,
Had
what
that
is-
moment of panic.
Yes, you
Yeah,
came
he-
over the triple.
why would he do that on the last lap? Just jump off his bike.
Yeah, you did it, and we thought you were crashing. We were like, what
Oh
the
hell yeah! Here comes the Rocco. He can beat him now.
yeah.
So dumb. That's how.
Dude, the funny thing about that is Dave Arnold, the team manager back then, he ran back to the pits. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I was like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I'm throwing some style." He's like, "Dude, you're gonna fall off the bike." I'm like, "I got it under control. Don't worry about it."
Yes.
Let me handle this, dork.
I
Like
just
that's what
remember-
us dorks in the stands. I'm like I said, I'm
Oh,
your
there was
age.
a gasp of
And we're
silence.
like, what
right?
is he? Why would he
He's
jump off his
crashing.
bike?
Yeah.
He's winning. Like, that's so dumb.
We were standing on those cement. I can remember playing his day. Kevin and I, those,
And I'm a seasoned dirt bike guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this.
Yeah, yeah,
I've never
yeah.
seen this before.
we
Like,
were on
what is
those
this idiot
concrete
doing?
bleachers at the Citrus Bowl.
Yes.
And you came up. We were sitting
Yeah.
right by
Oh,
that
yeah.
triple, and you came over and like whipped it off, and we were like,
Oh,
"Whoa."
Jeremy jumped off his bike.
And I just remember us looking at each other and going, "The hell was that?"
I don't know, but I need to see that again.
That's funny.
Solid,
Such a
man.
dork. We were such dorks.
Yes, that was
Hey,
hilarious.
switching gears, Jeremy. Early on in your career, your dad. Well, maybe it wasn't early in your career, but your dad did an interview one time about your early career, and he said he put $200 in an account and told you to make it grow. You remember anything like that where your dad's like, "Hey man, go make some money. Let's see if you can."
Yeah, well, there is a story. It's in my book, and I was racing on the weekends. I was pro. I was racing local pro out here, starting to race some Mickey Thompson races, and my parents were always supportive, 100% always. Whatever it took, we get it done. My dad worked hard and worked his ass off and provided for us and provided opportunity for me and all that. But I was a local pro and that was the decision. Like, hey, I'm out of high school. Am I going to work? Am I going to college? Am I going to dirt bike? What am I doing? No one in our family went to college, so I guess that was out the door. So I had to figure out something else. So, yeah, I mean, it just kind of got to a point where Team Green or Raceway Honda or whoever, at the time, whatever I was doing, I was making these contingency monies and, I was going to the track and writing a check for $100 to sign up and making $250 if I won and stuff like that. So I was figuring out how life worked.
Mhm.
And just got to the point where they were like, okay, we're starting a checking account. Here's $500. It's on you now. Go get it. Go make it work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And had that not worked, would they have not had enough to support me and whatever? Maybe not, maybe, but they would have definitely tried.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, hey, this is like, this is it. But they were like, okay, it's time to learn life now. Here it is. Write your own checks, put your money in your account, pay for your own shit. I was getting some bikes and some stuff, probably not making any money really, but whatever. It's just kind of had to go out and earn my monies on Saturdays at the races and Sundays. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of true. I mean, we didn't have a lot, so had to go make it happen.
My favorite part of that story is that, like, when you get, people get out of high school and you're like, and you're like, what am I going to do? Let's see. Am I going to go to college or am I going to be a plumber or, you know what? Maybe I'll be the best supercross racer of all time.
Of all time.
I'll see. Yeah. Why not?
That's the choice I'm going to make. Okay, cool.
Yeah, they didn't even have a box for that.
Yeah.
There's nothing to check.
No, there was no box for that one. Well, shit, dude. I mean, listen, I was pro in high school, 17, 18 years old, and working at Vaughn's. And the other days I was riding my dirt bike after school.
Yep.
So I was bagging groceries, working at Vaughn's, riding dirt bikes, trying to be a local pro. Then I was able to, race on the weekends enough and quit Vaughn's and be a local pro. But still at that point, when it was consideration time for work or moto or whatever, like I was already pro, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, hey, I'm this badass pro that it looks like I can go motocrossing for a living. Like I wasn't that guy. I mean, you name some of the other guys, like they were all getting way more support than me, way more money. They were making money at that time. Guys like Ryan Hughes, Chad Pedersen, Buddy Antonez, Jeff Emig, Phil Lawrence, even there was this group of guys that I raced against, but I wasn't the guy I wasn't the guy winning all that stuff all the time.
Right.
They were certainly better than I was, I think, at that point. So it wasn't like, there was this shiny career path in front of me for dirt bikes. Honestly, I honestly thought I was going to go be a tractor operator because I built all my own tracks and I had enough money at that time where I could have went and got my own tractor probably. I had 20 grand or something like that at least, but could have made it happen. So that was an option for me, but this Rosie Supercross champ thing wasn't like looking like it was, on the cards, because I went to, in 89, I was Raceway Honda. This is before I got my Team Green sponsorship. In 89, I was riding for the local shop here in Paris, Honda shop. I had a CR 125, went to Supercross with my dad. We drove my lowered mini truck up to Seattle.
Hell yeah.
And finished second Supercross one of those nights. It was pretty
low,
crazy.
Low
I picture
rider.
this being a Mazda for some reason.
Now, and that thing
It was
rides,
a Toyota. Toyota.
Now, how good is that low rider ride all the way back from
pretty
Seattle to
good.
Southern
Yeah.
California?
With all my shit in the back, my bike and all the shit.
We're already
It
bottomed
wasn't-
out. Let's put more stuff
It
in the
wasn't
back.
great.
Yeah, cool.
Big trophy
Yeah,
hanging
what
out the
is it?
window.
Yeah,
Yes. Where do you put the freaking trophy, man?
But it was a Toyota. We knew it was going to make it. So
Hell
we're
yeah.
like,
That's
right.
all
Yeah,
we're
it's
gonna
not
do it.
going to break down.
22R, baby. We
Yep.
just had the
We
conversation
just
earlier.
talked about that before you got on. 22R.
The motor on those Toyotas lasts forever.
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, do you remember who you passed and how many wins it was for you to become the winningest Supercross rider of all
Oh,
time?
that's a great question. What
That's
race?
an easy question.
Oh,
I know you know.
who and where?
Who did you beat? Who was the person you passed?
Well, I passed.
Nobody got the whole
Well,
shot.
Hannah has 27. Ricky had 28. So I passed both of them, but
Okay.
in the same week. Well, 2 weekends.
Yep.
But
You went past
I
Hannah,
think when
then RJ, and then who
Yeah.
you beat in those 2 weekends? Do you remember?
who did I beat like at the race? I don't remember who I beat. At the
No, I
race,
just
no.
meant
Like what
you
pa-
remember going into the winningest rider of all time status.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah, it
pretty
was
cool.
cool.
So it was RJ.
Yeah, which yeah, it felt unbelievable. I mean, even then, 28 races was a lot, right? I mean, because that was the number. That was the bar
biggest
set at
number
28.
that was set. Right?
Yeah.
Bar.
And now Eli is
Yeah.
Eli number 2 now?
Yeah.
52
He
or
is, yeah,
something?
with 52 or something. 53
Yeah,
maybe now.
dang.
He won
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, right?
That's what I mean. I mean, what you have done is so impressive. And I know people tell you this, and I know you know it. But you think Eli, he struggled to seal championships, but he has always won races. And he worked his tail off, and people always talk about beast mode Eli. And he's won so much, and it added up to 52.
He's still
I know.
season
And he
behind.
has been extremely successful. There's no one that would say, man, poor Eli, he just didn't have a good career. They would never say that.
Oh,
But he's
So,
not even close.
and Jeremy is so far past.
he's 2 perfect seasons ahead.
50, yes.
I know, that's so
52
funny.
That's so
is
dumb.
Eli's number, and he's
I think when you tell the story like you were talking about earlier of you didn't know you were going to the path you were taking, whatever. You should credit Bonds for all that. You should be like,
oh,
well,
it's 100%
be
because
like,
of
listen,
I didn't wanna go
went
back to
in and
Bonds,
told-
bitch. I ain't doing
I
that
went in
again.
and told Bonds that I was
I
going to
quit.
go. I quit. And they
He
said,
threw his apron down.
well, let me tell you, you're not getting your job back here if you go with that pipe dream.
you walk now, it's over.
You were forced to be the greatest in history because Vons wasn't
Thank
going
you,
to.
Vons.
Because
they weren't gonna-
Bonds forced you with
Yes.
no
Yeah, they weren't
safety
good.
net.
No safety net. Vons wasn't going to hire you back
Good for you.
to bag groceries, so you had no choice but to be the.
The funniest thing about the Vaughn situation is that my buddy worked there, and he's like, dude, you got to come over here and work there. They got such good benefits, insurance, and all this shit. I'm like, all right, yeah, man, this sounds pretty good. I can bag groceries with the best of them here.
And you
No
sort
problem.
of thought about it, right? Like you sort of
He
teetered.
factored in the benefits, pension, retirement, dental, vision.
He retired. His
I
buddy.
thought I was pretty forward thinking about
Dental
my
and vision.
benefits and insurance. Oh my gosh, dude, it was so
God.
funny.
Hey, we had
Yeah.
when we had Bob on, like you talked about, like you had done some winning. You had 20 grand in the bank and you had not won much. Bob Hanna
No.
talks about he was in a phone booth deciding to go get this bike. He was a welder at DG Pipes, and then
Yeah.
he that dude, and he goes, I went and won 8 races, got a ride from Yamaha, and then I won the title the next year. I'm like, hold on, Bob.
No,
Like,
was he riding a Suzuki?
Suzuki,
He
and then
drove
Yamaha
Suzuki
gave him a
first.
ride. He told Yamaha, hey, Suzuki, or somebody offered me this ride, and they're like, whatever. No, they
They
didn't.
didn't believe him.
And they didn't believe him. And
Suzuki
he went,
didn't believe him.
yeah, Suzuki didn't believe me. And he got the ride with Yamaha, and then he won the title. Like, Bob, I said, your
Like-
ascension is radical to
15
me.
months or something.
Yeah, he went from pipe welder to champion in one like 10-month span.
Against Marty Smith.
Yes, back-to-back champion.
Not against some dude.
Yes.
It's just Marty Smith.
Yeah, I'm not trying to belittle anybody, but he just talks all matter-of-factly about it. I'm like, wait a minute, Bob, hold on. I had to stop him like 3
You
times.
were
like,
welding.
and you won in 15 months. You won the title. Get out of
Food
here.
budget was $15 a month.
And Jeremy has 20
That's
grand
so
to bank.
funny.
And dude, he talked about he would run out of money and he'd have to steal avocados from trees that were like, he would hide them in different places in his house so they would ripen on different days. That way he would always have
The
fresh
hunger was real.
avocados to eat.
The hunger was real.
What?
What's that? We always say like, hey, it's amazing what you can do when you have to.
When you
Right.
have to
See,
do
and Jeremy never had to deal with that because he
was
worked
just-
at a grocery
he was a
store.
rich Vaughn's.
He had all that
grocer.
Vaughn's
That Bond's money.
That
you know,
Vaughn's money.
You know, that Bond's money, benefits,
Yeah,
cash out those
dental,
benefits.
vision,
yeah.
all that stuff, man. Yeah, glasses.
Roll
money.
out of there with some top ramen. That was
Boom.
good.
Just rolling with some top ramen.
Hey,
dude.
you know, a lot of kids don't get to see their dad and like who they can. And I know you've even talked about it. Like you talk about it at Mammoth, the times your daughters were there, because I'd be interviewing you like, yeah, my daughters didn't really know me when I was whatever. What do they think about the dorky? Because I know you're no different than me. You're some dorky dad that your kids will think you're the biggest dork. I'm like, hey, come watch me
Dad
ride it.
thinks he knows
for like
everything.
2 days. You're the coolest dude she's ever seen. Like, why are these guys staring at my dad? Like, yeah, I was kind of a deal. Like, whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. The older they get, they sort of they understand it more now, especially when we go to different events and stuff like that. They like the perks for sure, but I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think we talked about this. It's like I really had no choice. Like, I needed to have kids later after I raced. I could have never probably pushed it and put myself on the line like I did if I had some other responsibility like that. So it's, I know these days a lot of
Yeah, that's
racers
like the
have young
trend.
kids and all that.
Yeah.
Sounds so different these days. But I just, I was, first of all, I probably wasn't mature enough to handle it. And when I was a kid, I always thought maybe I want to be a young dad, I want to be able to hang out with my kids and blah, blah, blah. But then as I became a professional racer and all that, it was just, first of all, there's no way I could have respected any relationship that I needed to during my early years.
It was the
It was a different
90s. Yeah,
Yes.
The
Yeah.
90s were
The
definitely
90s.
a different time. For
90s were
the-
beautiful.
Dude.
They were beautiful.
Yes,
Yeah.
that dude. Yes, because it was. I'm like we said, we're all the same age.
That's
it was
a
a
frame
bitching
of
time. There was
clothes.
no cell phones, thank God. Because holy cow,
Ooh, dog.
can you imagine cell
Yeah, I'm
phones
sure I would have been canceled and
You'd have been
and
blistered,
fired.
bro.
canceled and fired?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if there were cell phones with cameras, nobody would survive the 90s.
Holy cow!
We
No,
would have been factory
we-
riders.
Hey, Life 360, where you at, bitch? Like my wife would be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, why are you not? Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been, oh man, that would have been a bad deal. We wouldn't have been able to grow up, just like the kids now. I feel bad for them. They can't even grow up. Too many people know what they're doing.
Too many people.
Yeah.
They're just like on. They have to be on all the time. They can't make any mistakes, and it's
Yeah.
just ridiculous. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
So
I think the pressure
we
falls.
all we are blessed. We're blessed to be growing up.
It was a
when we
good
did.
time.
Talking about
We're the
family-
last of the good times.
Family stuff
We are the
for a
last of
sec.
it.
You see a bunch of the riders coming up back then. Like I said, we're all about the same age. And you'd see interviews. Your dad was like the most likable moto dad that I ever saw interviewed back then.
You would barely know he's your dad. Like that dude was so out of the frame.
Yeah, and man, but anytime they did get to him and like talk to him,
Yeah.
he was like the best dude ever. You know what I mean? I don't know how you feel, but he was just.
Well, let me
like-
tell you about him at the practice track.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
you
you'd
hear
see-
his stories, right?
Yeah, you'd see him and you'd be like, man, that's a cool dude. You know what I mean? Like he was a cool moto dude.
Yeah. Do
Like,
you think
coulda-
that? Do you think that, Jeremy, or was he held?
Did I think that? You know what? I love my dad. We have a great relationship, and we always have. But I thought, I think everyone when they're a certain age thinks their dad's a pain in the ass. But
Yes.
I know everything he did with, everything he was doing for me at that time. basically kicking me in the ass and telling me I'm lazy and not working hard enough. All that was out of love. He wanted the best for me.
Yeah.
But when you're young, you don't realize that stuff. But, I always say this, I always thought all that shit was a pain in the ass when he was hard on me and all this stuff. But then when I was about 25 years old, I was like, he was right.
Yeah.
All that shit he said, he was right. So, it's kind of one of those things, I try to treat my kids, with a little tough love when they're younger, because they'll know that I meant well. And they'll come back and go, what? My dad was right.
Yeah.
He should have been hard on me about
good.
that. So, I always think about those things. And, my dad's a great storyteller. He's fun. He's very personable, and he's a fun guy. So, I can see, he turns it on too. He turns on all that charm and stuff when people are around and when he's telling stories and stuff. So, but yeah, I thought my dad and mom they did exactly what they needed to do with me, and they were great and very supportive. Yeah, I think there was never really, my parents were awesome. You hear the horror stories of all the kids and their parents and stuff, and they're taking all their money and doing all that shit. We could name 10 guys right now that their parents and their sisters and their family members basically just smoked them.
Yep.
My mom and dad were really, really, really helpful. They taught me a lot about business. They taught me a lot about negotiations. They taught me a lot about relationships. They taught me a lot about, growing up and being a man and taking responsibility for stuff that, I probably could have pointed the finger at somebody else or whatever, but you know what?
Yeah.
It's time, you got to man up. That's how it is. You just got to man up. And, all those things, came into play all my career. I still have the phone numbers to every single guy you can even name in the moto scene that's within management. And I still talk to them.
Yeah.
And I negotiated with them the whole time by myself. So, it's that those things I'm very thankful for from my parents. And then they also helped me negotiate contracts early on. When it was time to go take off and do it on my own, they relinquished that to me. And it wasn't like, hey, this is our business now and we're doing that. They were happy for me, and they knew I was grown up enough to manage it myself and start doing that stuff on my own. And there was never this problem. I certainly was gracious with my parents, right? I helped them with different things and bought them my mom cars and my, just whatever, just what successful kids should do with their parents. But they never stole from me. They never, we always had little business deals and stuff like that. And we always worked on business stuff together. And that stuff is important. You hear all this stuff about these riders. But for me, I think a lot of that equates to me being always intrigued by business. Yeah. Yes, I'm a racer, but I'm always interested in business. And so that for me kept me going on learning a whole bunch of different things and how to negotiate, how to talk to sponsors, how to, get more out of every situation. And for whatever reason, I was always interested. So it helped out in my career.
You had a really good position coming from, though, because like when you negotiated a contract, you could use Vaughn's against them. And you're like, listen,
Jesus.
I've got
the Vaughn's
connection.
I've
got dental and vision at Vaughn's.
I need dental and vision.
Yeah, Honda, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
We don't want to see you.
I think it more circles back to his dad said,
So I know
here's
what I got.
$500, make it grow.
200.
Yeah.
Here's the
whatever it
well,
was.
that
I got $200 in the bank, and I got dental and vision from Vaughn's. What are you going to do
What
for
are
me,
you going
Honda?
to do for me, Honda?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I was in a real strong position. It's like, you want me to be a stalker now? No way. I love bagging groceries.
I would rather bag. I get tips from the old ladies out to the car, man.
Yeah,
That's cash money, no taxes.
You were talking about when you turned 25 that you thought your dad was a pain in the ass. You were 25 and you found he was right. For me, it was when my son got to be a teenager. When he was like 13, I literally,
Yeah.
like, I work with my dad. I had to go in I literally, as a grown man at like 40 years old, apologized to my dad. And I was like, "This is exactly what you're saying." I said, "Dad, I got to tell you, I thought when I was a teenager, I thought you were an asshole. And now that
Turns out.
yeah, it turns out that I was the asshole. Now that I have a teenager, I understand that I was the asshole and you were right all along."
Yeah. And I it's crazy. All that shit they did was out of tough love,
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Dude, I hear,
But you
I hear,
don't know that when you're a kid. Yeah.
Heck no, they're just
Because you know
jerks.
everything when you're a kid.
but I will say this: when I hear people say like on ESPN, like, "Oh, he's only a kid, he's 19," I'm like, I don't know, man. I was 19. I was not that ridiculous where whatever they did, like rape something. Like they give these kids a
for sure.
lot of room. Not,
Well,
not rape,
That's
but
because
like,
King Kelly was your dad.
Well, the
Yeah.
He'd
kids
probably kill you if you did something stupid.
so I had the king of kings. Like you're the king of Supercross. My dad's name was
His dad's name was King.
literally King Kelly,
yeah.
God-given name.
But
That's pretty awesome.
These kids now are
He's a
a
great
few
name.
years behind us maturity wise. And when we were 19,
They
you
are,
were
and
19.
they're miles behind on the respect side of
Oh,
things.
don't even get me
yeah.
started on that.
But Jeremy,
But I
could
sound
you
like an old
imagine-
man.
That's
We do sound like
those
old men.
the old days of
Yes, sir.
you got to
Yes,
command.
ma'am.
You got to command respect, or
You know why? 'Cause
Hey,
you
so
get a
tell me
whooping.
this: like, so with my family and my stepson, we have a blended family. So the father was not around quite as much. So when we have dinner and like everybody sits where they want to sit, and I'm like, and they get food at a certain time. Like back in my day, my old man got his food first. He sat down first.
Because by
And-
God,
and-
you wouldn't have his table if
and
it
it-
wasn't for me.
But I was like, yes, sir.
Oh, you didn't question
Hell
it.
no.
God, you'd be injured still to this
Dude,
day. if you-
it's. I guess that's. I don't know, man. I
Well,
struggle with
there was a lot more respect in your day.
100%.
for
Yeah, there
sure.
was respect.
Our day, everybody.
Yeah, but like what
and there should be that respect now. It's
like
not.
Jeremy
It's
was
not
saying,
crazy
the
respect.
but there was a thing you had respect even in like your neighborhood because kids don't get punched in the face now like you did when you were there.
Yeah, you need to get
Back-
punched. If
yeah,
you got
right.
punched,
There's no consequences.
Yeah.
you should get punched, and
If
it
you
would
were
end a lot of
kid
shit
in the
right there.
80s, there might be the goofiest, dumbest guy in your neighborhood, but you didn't make fun of him
Because
because
he'll
he
square up and beat your ass, and then you
Yes.
won't do that again. It took that one time to get that fixed.
you learned to respect people
just like
because of that
your
reason.
dad would.
Yes.
Yes.
Shit.
So
I
Jack
was
and Ann,
40
they
I was
weren't afraid to
40
spank you.
I'm 40 years old. Still think my dad whooped my ass.
Dude,
I'm like,
I had a moment with my dad. I remember because we on the motocross track, we've promoted races my entire life. I'm out there in
Yeah.
front of our concession stand, and I'm like, my dad says something to me, and I say some smart, smirky little thing. He goes, "Boy," he goes, "You fucking smile when I tell you to do something." We were nose to nose, nose to nose, and I'm like, "All right, yes,
You
sir."
had to decide. You had to decide.
You
Should
damn
I
right.
say yes,
Yeah,
sir?
Absolutely.
It took
Yeah.
everything in
That
you
man
to
was
smile.
45 years old, probably mid 50s, and he would have worked.
Yep.
He would have worked me like
Oh,
a
he
rib.
had old man strength.
old man strength. Oh,
You say your dad's
yeah.
a good storyteller, Jeremy. I mean, Kevin's dad was a great storyteller.
I think
He
motocross
really
lends
was.
its- motocross
how
lends
do I
itself
not
to
believe that? Of course.
Yes, he was.
motocross lends itself to good storytellers.
Yeah.
Lots of stupid things happen at the track.
So we owned a racetrack from the 70s. My dad was a part of Team Green. Team Green started in my dad's shop. Dave Jordan, it originated in our shop. I hung out. You'll appreciate this. I hung out and I'm hearing Dave Jordan and my dad talk about this Team Green thing. Keith Turpin, they're all
Billy
Billy
Lyles.
Lyles. They're all from Georgia, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna have this thing. It's gonna be a blow up thumb. We're gonna have blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Well, this is pretty cool." I'm like 9. I'm like, "This is wild." So I get to kind of hear it all happen. And it all comes out of our shop in Georgia. But yeah, so my dad was like this mythical figure to me. And like he
was a
loved
mythical figure.
when people came to our track. He loved to shoot pool and help them and talk to them. He loved all of our regionals for Loretta's because they came from out of state and blah, blah, blah. But anyway,
he had a bunch of pool table tricks, Jeremy, and he would. One time I'm leaving the track and he goes, "Hey, come here," and he's like, "Hey, come stand at the end of the pool
I know.
table."
This is a great
And
one.
he's so anxious, and I'm reading his face, and I'm like, God, man, why is he
never
so
liked
worried
this.
about me?
I know where you're
standing
going with this.
at
I've
the end of the
I've
table.
videoed this one.
So another guy pulls up, and I make him switch with me. I'm like, "Hey,
Something's up.
stand at the end of this pool table because
you
this
gotta help
dude is
him."
way too into it. Something gnarly is about to happen."
So my dad puts a quarter at the debt about 10 inches from the
I've
end.
seen this trick.
Yeah, so
Yes,
a
dude.
nickel or whatever. So he goes, hold these 2 pool balls at the end of the table
Keep
with your
them held
fingers,
at the end of the.
and
by
then
your
I'm going to
fingers.
shoot this ball, and it's going to hit this little coin
and it's gonna split and all these stories.
He names, he just makes up a gay trick where it's going to bounce off this, going to do that. When all the while it's going to jump.
It's going to hit you in the nuts.
It's going to jump and hit you in the nuts.
Yes, and dude, thankfully
yeah.
I subbed it out to some kid that was leaving, so I stood over there and laughed with him instead
Yes,
of
you're a part of
crawling
it.
on the floor. You know?
That's pretty funny. That's funny.
Dude, it was
There you go.
great. So
You know, talking about
Love
Team Green, I still have my Team Green card,
I do too.
and
Team Green Rider card.
rider card, and jacket. So there was a point.
God, you
Jeremy-
kept the jacket.
Nick, put your jersey on.
Oh,
You
Nick,
yeah.
got some
I
OG
got-
shit.
Nick, no.
Oh, he's
speaking-
holding a
he's-
Jeremy McGrath.
We're filming this.
Chaparral Mazda,
Yes.
No Fear.
We're filming it for
1-800
YouTube.
Collect jersey.
He's got it. You've signed it. I said, where'd you get that? He goes, I don't know. My wife got it for me.
Yeah.
Like, so his wife's rad, obviously.
years ago, and
That's
I've got
awesome.
this jersey with it like a McGrath, like a fanboy.
When he wears his
Like a-
McGrath jersey, he only has matching undershirts.
That's so weird.
You
And he's,
ever
he's
noticed
only
that?
wearing underwear too. It's weird.
Yeah, I know.
It's like underoos.
But
Yes.
well, so we're gonna let Nick put this jersey on, and I've heard some chopping in the background, so I'm thinking you guys have dinner, getting ready. We went beyond our 30-minute threshold. So Nick, go ahead and put your jersey on. We're gonna sign off here with Jeremy.
God, it fits perfect. It's
Oh,
like you
dude.
guys are meant for each
I
other.
look just like if I was on my motorcycle.
Dude.
Oh, you look just like Jeremy.
Nick's getting ready for Loretta's. He's trying to
I'm
qualify
I'm
again.
picturing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't spend too much time
Yes.
on that.
No, don't. But
We're doing it again. We tried last year. We didn't get it. We were talking third party.
We had to race Mike Brown in the plus 50 class, and that's automatically
one spot.
one
You're out.
position.
he only lapped me twice at Gatorback.
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
one motor.
Is Mike Brown? He's 53
Yeah,
I know.
that's about Nick's age.
plus 50.
Nick's
Yeah.
53.
He's plus 50.
Nick's about the same age.
Yeah, Nick's exactly that. Nick, you're 53, right?
4.
54.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So if these were 90-minute motos, Nick is
Nick
the
would
most
win everything. He'd be the Jeremy McGrath
He's
of
the most
vet.
fit guy ever, but we just had to get beyond the 30,
It's the
45.
speed I've got a problem
Yeah,
with.
the speed is.
Jeez.
I'd
Yeah, I
be
mean,
a
I
really
don't
good
want to
motorcycle
race
rider.
Mike Brown either. So what are you gonna
No,
do?
nobody does.
What
so.
about
I thought I was the fastest over 50-year-old in the world, maybe, but
You are.
I'm not.
you
Well,
probably are for the
for 5 laps? You might be. I mean,
Yeah.
if you set your mind to it, I think you would be, but it would
You
take
got
a
life
full
to
year
live,
of
man.
commitment. Like, who wants to do
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
life
it
to
would.
live.
Nobody wants to
Who
do
would
Let
want
me ask you this:
Yeah.
like, do you and Emmett get along?
Yeah, no, we get along. Yeah, we get along fine.
But he,
We don't call each other and hang out or nothing, but when we see each other, we're totally fine.
you know, if you
When
think about
when I was
it,
younger, I didn't like him much.
well,
He didn't like me either. So
yeah, I was
whatever.
gonna say, like, if you think about it, Emmett should probably really hate your guts.
God, you know,
Because-
You
You
ruined his
you know how much
career.
money
You
Why?
it costs?
ruined
I
how
mean,
much money he could make.
97. 97 was the year I made that guy famous. What are you talking about?
You did make him famous.
St. Louis.
You're like Billy the Kid. I'll make you famous.
Yeah, that's right. He made him famous.
But yeah,
St.
but
Louis
could-
was 96, but 97
Yep, you're
is when
right.
I signed with Suzuki and he won the title.
You gave him a chance.
You had a flat tire.
Yeah,
in the tire.
I just
If it had to be for
I
a
was
flat
letting all
tire,
the
you still would have
fans-
won.
I was trying to win all my fans back. See,
That's right.
But
they liked me. They liked me. Then they didn't like me because I
Everybody
won
loves
too
a
much.
comeback story, right?
But-
Then I signed with Suzuki. They're like, oh shit, we love this guy now. He's an underdog.
He's the underdog.
Then I didn't win. Then I signed with Yamaha, and then I won,
And you
and then
let
it
him
was just
have
an
it.
explosion.
I know.
And
I
then
know.
all
I
the
told you
fans
this.
came back.
I've told you this before, but I went out to Anaheim 04 or something, and Sully was there. I can't remember where we met. We were at Pro Circuit, and he goes, "Dude,
Yeah.
he's told me about looping your Suzuki out the night before Anaheim won." He was like, "Whatever." He cranked it up and just did a big old wheelie and like totally destroyed your bars.
Looped it out at Pro Circuit or something.
Yes, yes, or wherever it was. He told me I looped that bike out before he was supposed to race at Anaheim 1. I'm like, that's a great story.
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Didn't cost you. It ultimately wasn't the reason Lamson took you out, but it was, just
But it
part of
had
the
to have
story.
added to the chance.
But just think, Emmett would be in the record books
Dude,
right now.
Huffman,
if it
we
was.
we had Huffman on last week. I said, dude, can you imagine if you didn't have MC to deal with? Like, there would have been 5. It'd have been 5.
Everyone's career would
We'd
have
have
been
had 4
epic.
different champions, probably. Thanks, Jeremy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
I'm,
well,
sure I'm sure he was like, yeah, that sucked.
Yep.
He was super cool though. Like, he's still writing tickets in LA, so be cool. Like, if he ever runs across you, you're getting a ticket.
No.
man.
Oh yeah,
You're
Jeremy.
definitely
Get the ticket, dude.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I'll
He's
take it.
like, I'm getting
Finally.
I'd
some.
rather have my race wins.
Yeah,
That's
he'll be,
right.
He'll be like, "Can I get your autograph now, asshole?"
Yeah, you sign this.
Yeah.
Sign this, Jeremy.
Exactly.
All right.
Getting some of my money
He'd be
back.
like, sign this.
Jeremy, we're gonna let you go. Thank you for your time, man. We really appreciate it. It's 1 year. We'll call you tomorrow morning. We'll do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it
Happy
every
anniversary.
day.
Thanks,
yeah,
dude.
thanks.
Thank you.
And
We'll see you at
hopefully
Mammoth, buddy.
Mammoth.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll see you, man.
All right. Enjoy the evening. Thanks
All
for
right,
having me on. Always fun chatting. I'll talk to you guys
Yes,
soon.
sir.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Why didn't we ask him if we could borrow a
I
motorcycle
guess
for
he's
Mammoth?
all right.
Yeah.
Dang, he has some.
He has a couple we could borrow.
Yeah.
I ride a green front fender. That was 90% of my time riding.
Did Langston text you back?
Not yet.
Okay.
Did you ask him?
I did.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna happen.
I know. We gotta get. We need a room.
I'm just so nervous. I'm already nervous.
We got to look up the classes. Are we gonna be? In
It's
the same
hard to
class?
carry.
Are we-
Yeah, we're sharing pants.
I mean, we need.
We got to cut weight on this plane.
But you
ticket.
know, I got this here meat bag.
I
Nick.
know.
Show
That
'em.
some bitch.
Look.
No, I ain't showing them. That's why I got this pillow. I'm very discreet.
They've given
I
John
like
a-
to be discreet.
That's
when
why
I-
John wants to be behind that bar over
When,
there.
yeah,
now.
I can hide my meat stick, my bean bag. That's
Yeah.
what my cousin says. He was sitting on a boat ramp in Idaho, and he goes, "You know, Meemaw's an old bitch. I hate Meemaw." And I'm like, "Meemaw ain't done nothing to you." And he goes, "She kicked me in the bean bag when she throwed them shoes up on the goddamn breakfast table." Oh gosh,
Meemaw. That's what I call my grandma. Meemaw.
Meemaw.
Meemaw. You don't ever talk bad about
Meemaw
my
come in
Meemaw.
there with them shoes and had her cataract
The
surgery
reverence my father had for his mother,
for Meemaw.
and if you like, I remember
What was her name?
Is Mildred.
Mildred.
Don't you ever say
Mildred.
nothing. Mildred, by God.
Mildred.
Mildred's a saint. Don't.
And I'll say
that.
this. I'm gonna say this, and I'm not being whatever.
This is a no judgment
So this
zone,
is
Kevin.
So Kyle brings a friend down to our Thanksgiving. This is in South Georgia. Where I'm talking about below
where
the
this is going.
below the gnat line.
By God.
Below the gnat line. We're in South Georgia. We're in Fort Gaines. It's on the Alabama Georgia line. We're 3 hours south of Georgia, and my grandmother gets some help. And so Kevin Truitt lives here in Bremen.
Okay, I
He
get you
comes with us.
with the help.
We have
terminology.
our family reunions. We're talking about 85 people.
This is a no judgment.
Everybody,
Zone. We had
my,
Exy.
my dad had 5 brothers and a sister, and they had a giant. Everybody had big old families. We'd all come down, and Kevin Truitt sat there and goes, y'all still got like he had a black lady that helped
Y'all
us.
still got
Miss Kelly, Miss Kelly,
slaves
and
was
she would
the
be
word
Miss
you were
King,
gonna
Miss
use.
King, Miss King. You want some pecan pie? Like all that, and Kevin Truitt was. He didn't know how to handle it.
Man, y'all,
Freaked
I
him
thought
out.
they abolished this, and here y'all are, still building
The
an
woman was
empire
paid.
of free labor.
The woman was paid.
Obviously, she was paid. We had a lady
Right.
named Exy.
Hey, the news hadn't got there far yet.
Not that far. Not that
They
time.
didn't even
There was no
have
area
TV.
codes back then. This is in the 80s.
Yeah.
Just dial 4844.
I like how a dude's like, man, y'all still got y'all.
He was like, he was
y'all
eating
still
his,
got- y'all-
his
y'all-
pecan pie going, what?
He was choking.
He was
on
tripped
that
out. This
pecan
is
pie, dude.
91.
He's like, God, no wonder y'all have such an advantage in life. All this free labor just against the law. Y'all
No.
don't even care. Obviously,
She
dude.
was paid.
Times were different.
But
What
Miss
was the
Mildred Kelly.
4844? What was the dial 48? What are you talking about?
That was you just dialed the 4 numbers. You didn't- there's no-
that was the phone number.
correct.
There's
Yes.
no prefix,
Back there, no.
no area code or prefix.
No area code or prefix. And the fact that freaking Nick knows it's called a prefix and an area code, I mean, that's a dissegment of
770.
the phone number.
The prefix. So McGrath is cool.
You think?
He's slightly
kind of
cool.
cool.
He is the coolest champion
Dude,
of all time
he
and the
is.
greatest of all time. It's
Both and both. I got a chance to follow him around. I got to do the Kawasaki new team launch.
We're terrible
Whatever.
hosts.
Hopefully
We need to
you
talk
didn't
about-
make a damn
We didn't
video.
talk about Kawasaki or
Nope.
his book. I wanted to
he
go-
mentioned it.
He mentioned the book.
Yeah, but I didn't know he had a book till just then.
I
so
knew he
maybe-
had one, but I've never read it.
Nope. I didn't get to mention Jeremy.
God, you even said I'm going to do that.
You never heard of that.
What an embarrassment, man.
I-
You should have been like,
That's the way our
Jeremy,
shows go. We just
Stuff on
go down the
things,
road and then
If I'd known he had a book, I would have read it before he came on. Then I
You
would-
Yeah, Nick will read a book.
whatever nerd. He
Nick
would've
will
done
read the hell out of a book.
I'm gonna read it.
Look at him, man. He's in a chaparral.
it. Show your
freaking
junk. He
no
ain't showing his junk. Show it. Look there.
Look,
You go.
dude, this is
There
how
you go.
I got
This
the-
is how you do podcasts.
Mike-
right here.
Mike talk-
You're like,
Mike,
yeah,
got
well, stuff
Mike-
on things, stuff on it, pro section
my,
over here.
My Mike Concho pose over here.
Mike Concho.
Yeah.
So dumb, dude. Thanks, Joe Strickland and Randy Wood, you bunch
Hey,
of idiots.
And this is why we don't have real sponsors.
Why do you say they're not real? They're written right there.
Real as hell to me, by God.
I mean, what's that
Sorry
ink
about
right
that.
there?
Sorry about that.
I mean, when you pay for all your parts and
Fast
stuff,
House is real.
Fast House is real.
Faster Minis. I don't think Faster Minis would be upset about our Moose Knuckle talk.
Nah.
I hope not, because old Craig from Alabama, he probably knows that lady that helped y'all serve that pecan pie.
I think I would be faster on a Mini if it was like, if you get it to fit me just a little bit and it just didn't have
If you had a
all the
big
power.
frame Mini,
Yeah,
It's not a Mini anymore.
a
It's
real
that's
long
a 250F.
Mini. It's
I
a
just needed,
250F
I needed a 250
with an 80 motor.
I needed a 250 with an 80
With a 110 motor, man, I'd be hell on 110, bro.
Nick's today, he's like, dude, this bike on starts, it just wants to rip out from under me. I'm like, well, try third. Try fourth.
Try it, whatever.
Man, just leave it in fifth.
I'm starting that bitch all weekend this weekend in third gear.
Are you really?
Yeah.
It'll pull him. It'll pull it.
You can hang it wide open then. You don't have to even think about it, right?
Yeah.
And you don't shift. So you may lug for a second, then when everybody shifts,
But
you're
when
like,
they shift, I think he'll gain it right
boom,
back.
Mike Brown. What's
Listen,
up?
guys, if you're tuning in right now and you're thinking about racing that area qualifier up there at Lazy River, don't even try it. This move is patented, and we will not accept anyone else shifting into third off the starts.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think the announcer's tower won't be keen to this and be watching you.
What's going to be funny is I've got this.
I bet
idea.
they watching all y'all shift.
Kevin will be like, oh, he clicked it up twice.
Disqualified.
I got this bright idea to do it, and I'm going to come out of the gate so slow.
Fifth
everybody's
gear.
gonna go,
Whoa, he'll be whoa.
Lugging that clutch. You'll be able to smell the plates.
Hey, fan the hell out of that gear. I need the clutch. Who
But
put a clutch in?
For real though, a 450 when you start like that
In second is
so fast,
and you're
hard
still
to
having to
control.
kind of control it,
Second
right?
wants to rip out of your hands.
So third gear,
Yes.
just balls to the wall.
Third gear, I can make it.
Have
go
you done
straight.
it? Have you
Yeah.
tried it?
I did
Son,
like,
he practiced today. Don't think he
Right,
ain't
y'all.
out there working on
I
it.
did like 10 times today, and it went straight.
All right.
Straight. To
Don't
the
think
street.
this man wants to go. If he makes
The
it to
dude ain't
Loretta's,
playing.
if he shows up at Loretta's, I will whore him out so hard.
Oh, it'll be
I
amazing.
will announce. Oh,
If
here's
you
the-
make it to Loretta's, we're
good
taking my
Lord.
camper.
We're
I'm
I
shutting
don't
us.
have a
We're
chance
shutting
in
everything
hell
down.
to
We're
make it
having
to
damn
Loretta's.
nighttime karaoke,
Dude.
Weege, all the
The only way I get to
Rodney.
Loretta's
God
is buy a
almighty
ticket.
knows.
what?
The only way I get to Loretta's is buy a ticket. If I make it to
Buy
Loretta's,
a
if they have
ticket.
90-minute
don't
motos.
sell them.
I will. If I were to make it to Loretta's, I will wear the space suit that Randy's buddy wore.
Harvey.
On the
in the
motor.
dirt.
Harvey wearing the disco ball
God
helmet.
almighty
Yeah.
knows.
Dude, he'd be sweating hard in that thing.
He'd die during that moto.
Now that will be some camel toe.
Yeah.
Remember how tight that space
You have two
suit
little
was?
revolving little planets.
Yeah, you could have two
little
disco
moons
balls
going
down
around.
there.
It'd be flashing in people's eyes like a,
Listen.
the reflection off of sugar balls just fucked my eyes.
All right,
up.
I'm coming up there Saturday then. Is Saturday
He won't even
racing?
be there.
I won't
Okay,
be
I'm
there
not
Saturday.
coming Saturday.
And you're going Sunday. You got a wedding.
Sunday. I got funerals.
Same
Oh,
thing.
the opposite
Dude,
of
the
wedding.
Same
non-stop
thing.
funeral session going on
Dang it.
around
See, I don't
here.
like getting older.
all these
our
people. I'm like, man,
all
look,
our
I got
people getting
things to do, and all y'all keep dying.
I'm not even going to the funeral, and it was my bus driver that died.
It was Nick's bus driver. Ain't
Oh.
Sherry.
Oh my God, we just talked about her. We've talked to her a few times.
Ain't Sherry. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was pretty cool. She was 81 when she died, and
She's on that bus drive to the.
she's right
to
now.
the,
She's
to the
pinning that
sky.
old International
She-
7400.
like
Straight
John
up that
Travolta
hill.
leaving that
Her
John
Barry
in
Higgins.
Greece.
Like you, Aunt Sherry. Barry, he ain't done yet though. He just
Barry
hangs a
jumped
hard
off the
ride.
bus. He
My God,
just-
Barry, you're nuts, man.
Greece is the word, and that bus is just ascending into heaven.
You can just feel the bus taking off. You know, it's like
3 people got that Grease is a word joke. Grease is a word. Down, 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 down.
I love.
I love
shit,
that
though.
scene. By the way, as a kid, my favorite last 6 minutes. That and the
Okay, first
when they're
off,
working
your
on the
favorite Six
car.
Money, because when she goes, "Tell me about it, stud," and she's wearing that spandex outfit, and you're like 9, and you look down your pants, you're like, "What's happening down there?"
What's going on in these sweatpants?
When this life is over,
High, fly away.
see,
that
and
for
that's
your
what goes
answer?
on, man. Ain't Sherry? They'll probably sing that at the funeral.
Okay, let me throw you.
But Nick's
All
racing,
right.
so he wasn't available.
So
to sing.
everybody that's of our age that did watch Grease 25 times at a theater and had no idea what all the sexual
Innuendo.
were, that we had no idea. But let me throw you for another loop. So John, you may not remember this, but Kevin, you saw
I
it.
got thrills
You saw
that
it 100 times.
multiplying.
And anybody
I
else
got
has seen it?
blues that are in control.
So the whole movie was bullshit. It was all a dream.
What?
This is the M Light Shimmalama.
Why this sucker gonna come in here and ruin my
fir-
childhood?
Remember the first scene of the movie?
Yeah.
She's drowning.
stuff on things.
Like the whole
No.
Yes.
Nobody's ever come and said it's a dream.
She was drowning. So
M. Night Shyamalan.
All
I
this-
know that's bullshit. He ain't in there.
all
He's too
this
young.
music, the flying at the end, everything just happened to work out for her all the time. It was a dream.
Listen to this
Who's saying
theory.
that?
This
That
is
was her life flashing before
Who's
her
saying
eyes.
that? I don't
Me.
believe it.
That was
You
a
s-
theory, son.
That's wrong. M. Like Shyamalan didn't do
Don't
that.
Shamalama
No.
ding dong.
Yes.
Watch
no.
it.
Listen.
It's like Raiders of the Lost Ark. If you watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, and you know this from Big Bang Theory, everything that happened.
Back when I was on the show.
Listen, everything that happened during that movie, the whole Raiders of the Lost Ark, nothing mattered. It would have came out the same. If it hadn't been for Indiana Jones, the Nazis would have found the Ark.
They would have found
They
it.
would have opened it. It like all the
Yeah, he didn't influence history or
no.
Anything
I mean, he
like that.
lost. Hell, he lost. It was the Ark that got it. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
they got the Ark. So
So Marty McFly, that whole story's bullshit too.
no, that's real.
That's
that's
I had
real.
a Toyota.
Come on.
I had a Toyota.
The
four-wheel
R22.
drive.
So of course it's
Look at that four
That's
wheeler.
a 22R.
22
Yeah.
hours
A buddy of mine
Buddy,
bought
what do
one of
you
those trucks
with the
Okay,
KC headlights. Oh my god.
I had a guy that went to school with me that his mom was a flight
It's
attendant.
barely.
Oh, no.
made
Here it
Look,
goes. His
it's
mom was a flight
look,
attendant.
by
Where's
the
the
way,
story?
Hey,
No.
wait. So
Fireball.
Tonight-
Finish it, bitch. Let's
no,
go.
I'm not.
We can't finish
No,
that.
tonight I was like, John, do we got enough Fireball? Oh, we got plenty. I had to make myself my own cocktail to allow you guys to have this little bit to get us to the finish line.
Just to make it to the finish
Just
line.
to
Nick's
barely-
like, I'll make
That's
sure. Don't do it, Nick.
This man-
Nick, don't.
That's power pulls right there.
He's
dude.
doing power pulls.
Get the power
Y'all
pull.
go. But
It's our 1 year anniversary.
so anyway,
I'll drink some. Where are you going, Johnny?
in like 86 or 87,
I had some very fancy vodka.
horrible story. His mom was a flight attendant, and we were in 6th grade. She was on a plane that crashed,
Oh.
killed her.
I
Killed
thought you were
every-
going to say you
everybody.
hooked up with a flight attendant.
Not his.
He just wasn't on that flight.
Not that time. So anyway, so when he turned 18, he got like 200 grand or something.
Yeah.
Well, he immediately went and bought
Fireball.
a Marty McFly Tacoma.
Oh, of
Hell
It
course.
was
yeah,
just
he did.
bad to the bone.
Pre-Tacoma.
And then a 350 Trans Am GTA automatic.
So he still had 270 grand.
Yeah, back then.
Pretty
Damn,
much,
dude.
And so-
right?
It's like so good.
But we
so cheap.
went like somewhere. We went to South Georgia. They had some property. We went hunting down there or whatever. And I had to leave. I didn't have to, but had a girl
You
that I
didn't
wanted
have
to come see.
But
there
there
you
was a
go.
couple of chicks
There you-
around Macon I had to get back
So-
to.
About Perry, Georgia.
I was trying
Yeah.
to.
You know
get
who
back,
you are, girl.
And I was like, "Hey man,
Don't forget, girl.
I
He's
can't-
looking at her.
I can't be staying down here all weekend." And he threw me the keys to that brand new Tacoma. He said,
Why don't you run on up?
He goes, "I'll be back in 2 weeks. Just drive it till I get back."
God
I
dang.
was like,
Dude, you were Marty McFly.
"All right, yeah."
Hey, so I want to get a little serious, and you guys know where I'm going with this when I mentioned
No.
my little brother.
Kyle
And
Kelly.
Kyle was supposed to be here tonight, and I love that guy. He's one of my favorite people. And 1 week ago today, I was in a hospital in Huntsville, Alabama, when my little brother had a heart attack.
A massive heart attack.
Massive heart attack. He got life flighted.
And he's younger, like, dude.
Yeah, he's 5 years younger than me.
5 years
He was
younger.
coming. He was coming tonight. He had 2 stents put in. He had a full blown heart attack in a hotel. He was visiting dealers. He's a Parts Unlimited rep, and I wanted him to be here when I said this. But man, I love that guy so much, and I want to share this story only not because I just want to share. Oh, my brother, whatever. I just want. Hopefully, it will influence other people that are thinking tomorrow's another day. I can get in shape another day, or whatever. Do
There's
something
not
another
another
day, because
day.
I'm not going to blame it on his shape, because I was born from the same 2 parents, and I have no heart issues.
Yes. However, Kyle, he thankfully asked for help, or he told someone, hey, man, I don't feel good.
Yeah,
The doctors were extremely clear, like, hey, 15 more minutes, you were going to be dead.
yeah. So literally 1 week ago, I get a call. Literally, this is Wednesday, 2:30 a.m. last week. I get a call at 2:30 a.m. Amelia, his wife, calls, and she goes, and I look at the phone. I'm like,
This
oh,
isn't
man.
good. Nobody calls at this
Nobody
hour.
does that. I dropped the phone. I couldn't even answer it quick enough. She goes, "Hey, Kyle had a heart attack." I'm like, "All right, well, what's going on?" Like, he's in a helicopter. I'm like,
Whoa.
"All right, I'm a fireman. I'm like, I know it's good and bad, because
You've seen too many of these.
we don't transport guys that are not stable.
Yeah.
Helicopters don't transport unstable people.
Right.
So they transport him, but while he's in the helicopter, he codes. They shock him twice, and they get him back and they say, "Hey, welcome back, Mr. Kelly." He remembers that. He was conscious the whole time because he's visiting a dealer the next day. He stays in the same hotel. It's just a routine.
Yeah.
Stays there. He's watching the Braves game, goes to bed, chest hurt, light tightness of chest. He's
Left
short
arm,
of breath,
something
left
or
arm's
other.
numb,
His
jaw hurts.
Jaw started
everything.
hurting. He said
5
the
things.
jaw is what threw him off.
Yeah, he said it right here around the front of the jaw. And it presents differently in every person, every man and woman. So the doctor said the fact that he went downstairs, not with his wife, because normally your wife would be like, "Hey, what do you have? Let's go."
Yeah, they would
She
want to talk
push you.
about it,
You're in
right?
a hospital. You're in the hotel. You're not. I'll just try to tough it out.
Because men say,
We
I'll
do-
just tough it out. It'll be
I'll walk
fine.
it off. I'll
be
figure it
fine."
out. Well, the doctor said you had 90 minutes based on how that all happened to get here to me and let me put these stents in you, and you were able
That's
to do
90
it
minutes till he put the stents
from
in.
the time he was in the floor
If
of
he'd
that
have
hotel.
waited 15 minutes at the hotel to say, "Hey, man, I feel funny,"
Yeah.
that would have killed him.
Yeah, because he goes, the heart attack, you can live through a heart attack. People have multiple heart attacks, you live, but he went unconscious. He went into cardiac arrest. That's a different thing.
That's a
So
different thing.
He has pain. All this stuff happens. They call 911. Boaz Fire Department comes to him. They pick him up. I'm not sure. I think they transport him to a hospital. They go, he's having a heart attack. We don't have the cardiac care to help him. Some hospitals are all set up differently. So they call for a helicopter, 18-minute flight. They fly him
Huntsville.
en route from Boaz to Huntsville, which is 60 miles because I drove it to get his
And
truck.
Boaz was the home of the biggest yard sale in America at one point.
I did not know that.
It was.
Wow.
I just wanted you
That's
to
good
know
to know.
that.
So that
you could
goes,
hear
that
him.
goes,
That's part of what saved him.
that goes well with the story.
100%. Yes.
So he's in the air fighting for his life, and he's thinking about this yard sale.
no, he's not.
No, he told me he was thinking about his family. He
Dude,
said,
I
my
believe that.
wife, his son graduates this year. His daughter's in Kennesaw. I mean, he's 47. He's too young for this.
Yeah, he's way too young.
And he codes. They shock him. They say, "Welcome back, Mr. Kelly." Like he remembers
I can't
those
believe
first
he can
few
remember
words.
that.
He remembers everything. So this is 3 a.m. We're already driving that way. So he's in the air. We're driving. We're already coming to him with his wife. The doctor calls us and they go, "Hey, have you? Has anybody spoke to you? Do you know what's going on?" We're like, and I'm driving. I'm like, "Here we go." I keep it together. Like this is where they say one of two things. And I did the surgery. Kyle's fine. He's talking. He had 2 stents put in. He's whatever. I'm like,
Wow.
like, dude, I'm a fireman. I've done this for 14 years. I've never shocked someone and brought them back ever.
Wow.
I've done it 200 times.
Yeah.
I've done it so many
That's
times.
a lot in 14
And
years.
I've talked to
That's
my
a
buddy.
lot.
I've talked to every other guy. I've talked to in the fire department.
I don't mean to be, but maybe you need to
Be better?
Are you
Practice
sure?
your
Study more?
shocking.
Or you're using red's positive and black's negative.
Is that
You
what?
sure?
Oh,
Yeah.
I got it
Oh, he's
backwards.
had it backwards.
Dang. So
I've never saved anyone. Thanks,
God,
Kevin.
if I'd have paid
Way to
more
go, Kevin.
attention, I killed 3 people.
Or 200.
200 people just because I didn't know.
So I've talked to my buddies in the fire service, and everybody I've talked to that are in this business are like
Wow.
he should have died. Like
Yeah.
if he does that any other place, if he's not in a helicopter with the pads already, he's got the shock pads already hooked to him. So when you stop breathing, they can go.
Yeah, they can hit it.
It says advise shock or whatever, and it will do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you do this in the floor of your hotel room or whatever, you don't make it. So
Yeah.
he's very lucky. He's very fortunate, and I hope. Nick has been a huge influence. We've talked about this.
I talk about it
You do,
nonstop because
and he's
I was
been an
ready
influence
to
on
get
me.
old and lazy and
And Nick
everything
says,
else.
if you want to do it, do it. Tomorrow's not tomorrow's not guaranteed. And Kyle's tomorrow was 1 week ago.
1 week ago.
Like, if you want to do it. Like with your kids, with your family.
You have to do it. You don't have a choice. Don't wait
It's
till
not-
Monday.
You're in.
He's
a
If you-
47. He's not morbidly obese. He rides dirt bikes. He tried to qualify for Loretta's last year. Now he's going to lose weight now. I truly, I don't know how he and I are so different where I'm 0% blocked and he's 100% blocked in 2 different areas. So I don't know. Whatever.
Well-
It's just whatever. Just use it for a reason to go and
We could go into a big long thing about the microbiome that lives inside of you, but there's no reason to. The main point of your story is seriously, Nick. You've been a great influence.
We've had other people talk to us and they're like, dude, so I'm 51, Kyle's 47. He's super young. He's got young kids. You fat dudes that aren't doing stuff or want to do stuff, get off your ass, get moving.
Ride.
Even
walk.
you slim fit dudes that aren't wanting to do shit, you should
Go
do it because
ride.
tomorrow might not be there. It might
I
not
go
be
to
there.
Rocky 3, man.
Rocky 3,
Yeah.
It sounds dumb, but
when
like
which is
Rocky
arguably
says,
the best Rocky.
and Rocky says, oh, would you like to train tomorrow? And Apollo Creed says, there is no tomorrow, Rock.
Yes. There is no tomorrow. There's not. And I want to
it's
be
today.
lazy so bad. And I seriously,
so easy to do.
Nick's attitude and Nick's approach
It's
is
today,
very
baby.
infectious, and it means something.
It's today.
You ride more than I rode as a kid,
You know what, man?
and
It's-
you've got energy for
and
things.
even not riding, if you're not, you know, what I mean, if you're not
if you're
everybody's-
running, if it's mountain biking,
Yeah.
if it's going and seeing your buddy,
Just
you haven't,
seeing your buddy,
you haven't
check
seen in a
in,
few
yeah.
years because that
At this
those
age-
dudes start dying when you're in your
We've
50s.
got a lot of dead
shit
people's
starts
numbers
happening.
in
Yeah,
our phones.
you need-
My mother's dead.
We do.
My father's dead. All my grandparents,
Hey,
everybody's
you
dead.
got parents alive, you call them every day. If you
You're damn
got
right.
friends that you don't talk to very well,
You should do it.
You need to call them once, twice. Go to lunch with whoever it is. Your old
you know, we haven't.
high school. Everybody gets
Who
busy.
cares? Put it to bed.
Bullshit.
Squash
on
it, dude.
Sunday.
It's over.
Like whatever. Drive the hour to Roswell to see
Whoop-de
your buddy.
shit.
Yeah, it's
Drive
not
to-
that far.
Drive to whatever. You're never going to regret it.
If they're
You're-
gone by end,
No, it's like you never
never
regret
gonna
going and having
regret-
your buddy for
Yes.
dinner and hanging out.
You're never going to regret an experience.
truth,
Right.
Truth.
So if you go to like you can have an experience going for a walk. No matter I'll go. Okay, so one of my
like when
things
those
is
flight attendants were on that trail one time.
yeah. So
You
I'll
got
go
that
to
blowjob. I get it, man.
I know it helps, but like if I go, no matter what, if I go to work in the morning, I'll go work for a little while, get up, take a walk, boom. You never come back from a walk pissed off.
I wish I wouldn't have done that.
Or a workout.
Or a
anything.
workout,
No.
or a ride.
yeah,
you don't
none of
ever-
that's ever regretted.
so-
You're exactly right.
I have to say one thing though about that.
Except when
that
you give your
do.
bike to John, he doesn't wash it or put
I know.
sprockets and shit on it.
He's gonna be
to
up
get
so
you
late.
ready for Loretta Lynn's.
Dude,
It's
He's
not
leave the
cool.
so-
motorcycle.
So late tonight. putting
I'll
some
get that
tires
thing
on.
dialed
It's
by
not here.
tomorrow.
He's got to
Tomorrow
drive
afternoon,
somewhere
it'll
and
be
give me
ready.
a sprocket and chain somewhere.
I don't
too.
care. I'll
know.
do it.
So
I need this thing right.
the only thing I can say about that is people that play golf to relax. I do see people get pissed off about
My
golf.
brother gets pissed.
You know what I mean? Like
Golf isn't.
My kids get
That
this.
isn't
I
maybe
can't
the
even
right
do
category.
that because I remember. Okay, first off, there's nobody with a brain in their head that's ever played golf that didn't go, "Damn, I'd like to ride my motorcycle on this."
Oh,
thing."
everybody.
You know, like,
It'd be killer to hit
everybody.
these. Look at
So-
that hump over there. I could hit that wide open
Oh, I
and
could
clear
just
the
clear
green.
that green,
Shred that
brr,
grass.
ah.
Oh.
And so, but I remember playing golf one time, and this is back when $80 was like ridiculous to play. You
Yeah.
know, pay. It was like the Ombre or something in Panama City where they'd had a
The Ombre,
Thing.
That was
Jason
it.
Anderson.
it was they had like a
Tournament.
PGA court, like a PGA, not the main, but like Hooters tour or whatever. And I was
Nick played on the Hooters tour.
so
Of course.
That
Finished
was a
third
different-
every
it
year.
was a
Finished
different kind of
69th
tour.
every
Son.
year.
mine was a different kind of tour. But
Yeah, it was.
But I remember, and I was like so pissed off. I hit a bad shot, and I was like, I just paid $80 to do this. Why
To be
am I?
pissed.
Why am I
Why
mad?
are you pissed?
Yes.
Like, why am I pissed off? And I just knew right then. I was like, this isn't riding. This isn't running. This isn't riding a bicycle. This
Yeah.
isn't.
This isn't any of the good stuff.
It's none of the good shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything that's gonna make me mad. Like when you leave the motocross track, you can't be mad.
Nope.
When you come back from a walk in the woods, but you can't. If you take your wife or your spouse, your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your friend's girlfriend,
Yeah.
I mean, you're never pissed off when you get through. You know what I
No,
mean?
100%. Yeah, you don't regret that. You do regret.
Not
Man, I
going.
didn't call him back.
Yes.
Man, I didn't reach
Hey,
out
I'll
to
say
him
this:
more.
when my dad died, we had planned on, we had talked. I'm like, hey man, we need to scoop that up and let's go to Vegas. I want to go to Vegas with my dad. I've never done that. Didn't get to do
He
it.
would
So
have been
if you're
unbelievable there, too.
if you're thinking about doing it, like whatever it is,
Quit thinking about
Just
it.
do it,
and let's
man.
plan it. Yeah,
Like-
let's knock it out.
and I'll say this: Kyle was coming tonight, and he was in traffic. He wasn't going to make it in time. He said he was feeling a little weird, a little anxious, a little flushed was his word. I don't feel right, and he turned around and went home.
Let's make him be here next week.
Well, I'm just saying,
next
like,
show.
just. I mean, I love that guy. I do.
We'll have to send the winners take y'all a helicopter after him.
Well, he'll die. in
That's
it.
too many
He
helicopter
dies in a
rides.
helicopter. So no.
Obviously. Yeah, Nick, we're not equipped.
Damn jet or something.
We can't
dude.
trust
You know,
this
and
clown
something
to
else
bring him
too.
back.
He blacked out. Like he literally died on the helicopter, and they brought him back. And I said, "What'd you see when you died?" And he said, "I freaking saw Dale Earnhardt, man."
Man,
There's a-
and that's when
so
I
Number
knew.
3, baby.
That's when I knew.
Jingo.
Do it for Dale, you know.
Okay.
Die
so-
for Dale.
Taking your dad to Vegas, then I know we always kick on stories. and this is not me and my dad. I'm going to clarify that real quick because my dad's never been to Vegas.
My dad never went.
A friend of mine
I wanted to take him,
wanted to
man.
take my dad because Pete Rose signs autographs there, and he was a huge Pete Rose fan. Like that would be.
Your dad hurts for Pete.
I know. I got a baseball. Somebody else got me a baseball sign from him there, but
That's cool.
so
We're gonna finish this.
the
God dang it.
yeah.
We'll finish this right here. We're finished.
This is a
I'm
horrible, funny, and this was a motocross guy too. You guys are not going to know him, but he was a local motocross guy. So
Just a tiny bit, Kevin.
No,
right,
sir.
pour it
Out
right
of the
over the
bottle.
board.
he's staying in a room
No,
with.
because once I drink out of it, quit,
Hey.
you clown. God, dog it.
He's staying in a room with his dad. Right, we're out there. You know, they got a room together.
John was
whatever.
sick. That's why.
So-
we didn't
That's why I'm not
So-
drinking it. Yeah, I have a sick last week.
So hey, it was like, hey man, it's time to go to dinner.
Jesus.
And he comes to the door with a towel on.
No.
Him and his dad are in
And
this
Pete
room.
Rose?
No, and
O.J. Simpson.
him and his dad have a hooker in the room. he's like, hey man, we're not gonna make dinner, and his dad's back there. With
God dang it, dude. Now that's over the top.
I didn't want to do that.
Stop
By that.
it.
I just wanted to go play 21 Black.
Dad, I don't think we should share juices and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Stuff on things. You know what I mean?
I did not have that kind of relationship to my dad. I could share that.
Dad, which end
You love your
want?
mom. You would never let your dad smoke some hooker at Vegas. God.
King Kelly might have stirred
You
up
could,
something.
hey, you meet some.
He was single when my mom died.
Some of your
I know, I'm
motocross
saying.
He
friends.
was 15 years later.
Some of your motocross friends are interesting. That's all I'm going to say.
They're
They
very
are.
interesting. Yes.
Wow.
King Kelly in Vegas.
Hey, man.
That would have produced a few stories.
We're not.
God.
We're
My dad produced stories everywhere he went.
Sorry, we're late for dinner, guy.
Me and my dad were banging a
We were
hooker.
hooking up with
what?
with this chick.
Whoa.
Dang it, you and your dad. That's the
Jiminy
most
Christmas.
weird, awkward.
Whoa.
That's some family time right there. Hey, you listen. It's all about experiences. Don't pass. If you that's
Well,
your
I'll take the
relationship,
good
Yeah, we're
that's
just
cool.
trying to live.
I'll take
man.
the good and the bad from Nick. So, long story short, embrace your friends, your family,
There
whoever.
is no tomorrow, Rock.
there
And
is.
if you're thinking about doing it, just freaking go do it. It
do it.
doesn't. Nobody cares how you do.
No.
Nobody cares if you're fast anymore.
Nope.
That's 90% of the battle with old motocrossers.
Yep.
Man, I don't ride because I can't do it no more.
You know, the good thing about me
Who
is I was slow
cares?
then and I'm slow now. Like I went to the track today. I was probably the second slowest guy there, and I had a blast. I didn't care what anybody was doing.
That is the greatest attitude
I could
right there
care
for somebody
less,
that used to
like-
race
Oh, yeah.
motocross.
He's wearing a Jeremy Mcgrath.
He's got a signed Mazda Chaparral No Fear 1-800-COLLECT Jeremy Mcgrath jersey.
I'm happy about the whole thing, except you just told me that I'm wearing something that says Mazda.
well,
that kind of throws it off.
They kind of
mean,
suck. I hate
yeah.
mine.
But in our defense, back then the Mazda B3000.
Remember they had a
was
Troy
pretty
Lee?
solid. It was a Ford
They were the
Ranger,
Troy Lee
it was
edition.
a Ford Ranger.
and
yes.
it was
that's
it
right.
was a rebadged Ford Ranger.
That's right.
So it
That's
wasn't
right.
quite as anti-American as we
My
think.
God.
Yeah, and if you go to a small town now, you're gonna see some Ford Rangers
Detroit,
Everywhere.
son.
everywhere. They
Everywhere.
still driving them Ford Rangers. So
Nope.
either square nose
Danger
ones-
Ranger.
Danger Ranger, baby.
Yeah, that's the
Nick-
first time I saw Joey Casey. It was in a red and white Ford Ranger with a ground
Bless
effects
his
kit.
heart.
And it had two 10-inch subwoofers behind the seat. And they was playing Milli Vanilli. The first time I saw him, it was 88.
Really?
I mean, I knew sort of who Joey was, but 88.
He had tens and a whole.
Was it
That's impressive.
White mullet. That mullet was so white. I wish I could find a picture. Joey had JT Bones
Girl,
gear.
you know it's true.
Yes.
I had
That
to
thing would
take.
be like,
They sent you money back on that
I love
Milli
you.
Vanilli.
they sent what?
They sent you money back
Why? Because they
because
ripped it off?
Yes.
because
I never got my
Like-
money back. In fact,
No,
put that
had
on
you-
the list of returns
Had
next to
you
Flakjack.
had you returned your cassette, they would have
I'd
sent
be like,
you money
man, this
back.
is bull.
I still-
You
Why?
homeboys ain't even
Did-
singing.
No, guess what? Did you like the music?
Yeah, I
Yes.
loved it.
Then shut up. Like I
exactly.
don't understand how that was even a problem.
Girl,
and
you
A,
know it's true.
B, or whatever. Like the dude that sang it.
Ooh,
where did your
ooh,
career go? I don't
ooh.
understand
I
why that
love
guy
you.
never.
Yeah, they were decent, right?
No, not they. That dude.
the dude that sang it.
The
That's what I'm
dude that was
saying.
not Millie or Vanilli
In
was
my
awesome.
mind, it was always just Terrence Trent D'Arby.
the whole time. It was
whole
Tracy
wishing
Chapman.
well, wishing well.
They were all the same. I mean, I'm not saying that in a racial way, but they were all
Here
the
we
same.
go. Come,
Sorry.
girl. I sat back and thought about the things you used to say.
Now we're going to have to send money back to people.
Yes. Really, a lot to me.
I
Girl,
really mean that
a lot
much to you.
Girl, you know it's true.
And this is when Joey pulled in.
All right, stop. We're
All
getting.
right, we're going to get busted by the YouTube bastard.
Yes.
Yes.
And I don't mean that, guys. If you're like an officer for YouTube, like, no offense.
YouTube arrest.
That's not-
YouTube
But
arrest.
quit arresting people.
Stop.
We're just out here having fun.
We're just trying to have some
Scandal.
outlaw
We'd like
fun.
to thank Scandals Pizza.
You want to take a little off the
You
top.
want some off the
Jared.
top, or you want some on the bottom?
And then you said, "Is that some ice cold Coca-Cola?" It's like ice cold Coca-Cola.
For-
Get out of here with all the
Here's-
code.
You want some sweet tea or
1 year
ice Coca-Cola?
reference, the Fireball is gone.
It's about.
Oh,
to be
there's
gone.
there's a
There's
swig.
a swaller.
There's a swaller up in there. Listen,
John, say it. There's a
you guys
swaller.
want some ice cold Coca-Cola? I take a swaller of that.
There is no tomorrow, Rock.
I take a swaller of it. Oh, he didn't know his wrist was going to flex that hard to
I
really
know.
get the end of it.
Kevin
But you know,
got
when
all-
you're right at the end, your wrist has to do a lot of flexing.
Kevin got all the
God dang,
backwash.
he's choked.
The backwash,
Backwash.
the backslide.
Kevin,
going
I'm
on
so
here.
proud of you. I just don't know what to do with myself. I take a little off the top of some of that ice cold Coca-Cola. Stuff on things.
Happy 1 year anniversaries, you bunch of
Holy
dummies.
shit! I forgot to tell Jeremy Mcgrath I loved him.
Call him back.
Stupid.
Text him.
Freaking
Instagram him.
freaking Fireball.
Hit the Kawasaki PR.